These two grown men had never seen The Simpsons. How the fuck's that even happen? They're two grown men on a mission now, so buckle up and just strap in.
Summer breeze makes me feel fine, blowing through the jasmine in my mind.
These two grown men had never seen The Simpsons. It's America's Barley Basket.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of America's Barley Basket. I am your host, Marlon Wells, alongside host Nathan Fulsebach. Hello, Nathan.
Hello, Marlon.
How are ya?
I'm okay.
You're in the jungle, baby. That's where I thought that was going.
Well, I'm not. I hope I'm not in the jungle. These slacks are not cut out for jungle moving.
Are you going to a gala after this?
I don't know. I just put on my comedy pants. I should have put the comfy pants on, but I got some comfy socks on. I got some Christmas socks. My sock game has been
Christmas
updated.
Socks? I'm sorry?
That's usually when I get. I am the typical guy that gets socks underwear during the holidays.
God, you're 100 years old.
Socks with so many holes in it, you can't tell where the foot goes.
You can buy your own socks.
That's true. I could. That's not bought with love. Then.
You don't have to wait till Christmas to buy
Mom
socks.
picks out the best.
Oh, okay, sweetie. Oh shit!
So got that. Everything else is okay. I mean,
Yeah.
okay is pretty generous, but it's we're at a baseline that's tolerable.
Okay, you are tolerable. That's your.
Geez, that's a good descriptor.
How are you doing? Tolerable.
I'm not like in a lot of pain.
I'm in an acceptable amount of discomfort.
Yeah, I'm always in some level of pain. I'm always at a 2.5.
Yep. Yep. A baseline 2.5. Yep. Same here.
The face is always flat or frowning. The face is never smiling. I'm never at that 0 or 1 on the pain chart.
Yeah. Always a frown.
Yeah. Rarely the crying, though, which is good. You don't want
That's
the crying.
good. Yep. Fucking. It's amazing that we haven't come up with a better way to illustrate and measure pain than these 5 cartoon faces.
Your fucking propane grill blows up, blows your fucking face and legs off. They're having you point at which frowny face is how you feel right now. Take your good nub and point it towards the face.
Oh, an 8. Okay.
Okay, if it gets worse, we'll give you some aspirin. You let us know. I'm going to give you this clicker, which will be hard to click without having thumbs, but push it against what's left of your torso. You're just shoving it into an open wound.
Oh, do you need an Advil?
Do you need a blanket?
We had a good comedy weekend this weekend.
Yeah.
We did shows. We made people laugh.
They liked us. They really, really liked us.
God, I like when they like us.
Sometimes they don't.
Sometimes they don't.
Sometimes they do not care for us.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah.
But no, they liked us this weekend. So look at us.
Except that guy that told us to go on diets. That's
Just out of fucking nowhere.
What a jerk move. Obviously, yes, we should.
As we're about to break down the equipment, take down the speakers and the mic stand and the cords and shit, a fella sitting at a table just stone-faced looked up and goes, "You boys should go on diets."
Thank you, doctor.
That was it.
Yeah.
That was the whole interaction.
Yeah. You look like you're going to piss your pants. We all have issues, sir.
Just flatly, coldly, no sense of humor about it.
What a son of a bitch.
Some drunk old men get the honesty of a child when they are hammered.
And the same man chirped me up about the Vikings, me not knowing that this man was insulting us. I was polite to him. The nerve.
Yeah. How dare he?
Tricked me.
Audience members gave me candy. I took candy from strangers, which they tell you not to do.
Yeah, they're all sweetening you up.
She seemed trustworthy.
Yep. Got some purse suckers from a nice lady.
Yeah. Nothing like good pocket candies.
Yeah.
I've embraced a bolo tie lifestyle.
Oh yeah, that's the big change for you.
Yeah, that's the big news. That's the big news in my life.
That's what's going on. Fuck, you already got next year's Christmas letter written.
Love me a bolo. We're bowled up over here.
All thick with the bowl.
And we have Simpsons.
God, we do, don't we?
Yeah.
I quickly tried to think of a segue involving bolo ties, but they've
I
had
saw
to.
you struggling.
They've had to have worn bolo ties at some point.
Abe wears a bolo tie.
Fuck yeah, he does all the time. That's
Yeah.
part of his look.
Yep. Bolo tie
I
over that
wonder why
sweater.
they made that choice.
I don't know. Are bolo ties an old man thing?
Yeah.
I think of bolo ties being a cowboy thing.
Yep,
I don't-
absolutely. That's Western wear.
Right.
Yep.
So I don't know if it's an old man thing.
Yeah, one time, easier to tie.
For sure.
If you got shaky hands, you're an old man.
It's just a little slide.
Yeah, everyone could do it.
And should. I'm bringing it back.
One step at a time, one man at a time.
Bowled up.
G's up, bowls down. That needs to be your hat you wear.
I am having a struggle finding bolo ties that have a long enough cord on them because I got a big old fucking Battletoads neck.
That's ridiculous. Yeah, but it's like having shoelaces too short.
Yeah.
It's just a little knot.
I tried one on earlier this week because I was out bolo tie shopping. Threw it on and like it barely came down like past the first snap on my shirt.
Boss hogging it.
I was like, this is fucking ridiculous. This looks like that Colonel Sanders tie. It looks like a string tie.
You need a white cowboy hat too. God,
Think
that'd
so?
be a good look.
White?
Yeah, white. Bright white.
Yeah,
cowboy
not like
hat.
a beige, not
Yep,
a tan or
nope,
a pearl.
fucking-
Okay.
Yeah, like you're one of the fucking sons of the pioneers. Like, baby blue denim shirt, purple kerchief tied around your neck, white cowboy hat.
Okay. That was weirdly specific for you.
Turquoise bejeweled bolo. Bold, striking image when you walk over the hill.
Something you've put some thought into.
Yeah.
Have you dressed me in your mind a
Silver
few times?
furry chaps.
What? This is getting weirder.
Slacks your choice.
Thank you.
You can go understated with the slacks.
What kind of boots you thinking?
Oof, got bright red.
Red.
Yeah, red with some metal, like some chromy shit on it too.
Okay. I always like the metal tipped cowboy
Yeah,
boot, the
there we go.
metal toe,
Yeah.
the engraved ornamental little sliver on the front.
You want your look to be visually assaulting. Like it's hard to look directly at you. They got to look at you like they're looking at a fucking eclipse. Look at a reflection. Kids are holding hubcaps up to look at you.
Building like a little tissue box with toilet paper rolls.
The weird cowboy's coming into town for snacks. Bring out the kindergarten class to look at him.
Well, I think we've got a good look put together. Silver chaps are going to be going to be a tough find.
Furry, so they're gonna be almost like glittery.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, this is
And furry.
Yeah, very furry.
Okay.
Well, like Dutch Mantel's boots if they went thigh high.
Okay. That's a very specific thing to say. And I knew just what you
Yeah,
meant.
exactly.
So-
I had a hunch. Perhaps the first Dutch Mantel reference on this podcast.
Can't be. I
Yeah, I think so.
refuse to believe it.
But yeah, put that together. We'll talk later.
Okay. I guess I got some shopping to do.
Got to Vera Wang it.
Yeah, that's going to be a fucking expensive.
Yeah, no shit.
You know how hard it is to find anything my size, and then you give me the most specific shit?
Yeah, the baby blue shirt might be a purple kerchief is the hat. I bet a bright white cowboy hat ain't cheap.
Oh, yeah, it's all going to be expensive.
Yeah.
I'm more worried about hard to find.
Yeah.
Like, where am I going to find silver chaps that
That's getting made.
that go? Yes, that's a custom job.
Yeah.
I got to go find a fucking bridle maker.
Red leather cowboy boots with the chrome tip on
Those
the
are
end.
findable,
Yeah,
weirdly enough.
yeah.
Like, I think,
Yeah,
they're-
you'd be surprised, I bet.
they
Yeah.
ain't going to be comfortable. Try finding a jazzy, wide-footed cowboy boot.
Yeah, no, those are gonna be more narrow than a basic shoe.
Yeah. Oh, my dogs will be barking
Yeah,
by the end of the night.
You got to sacrifice for fashion
Yeah,
sometimes.
exactly. Yeah, beauty is pain.
Yeah, get you in the. Got to get that little bit of a heel so your butt pops in the chaps.
Always popping it. Yep.
Always
Always popping it.
So I'm always conscious to make sure I'm popping my ass. No shoving scuttlebutt here. It's always out there.
Yep, ass popping daddy Nathan.
Putting out that vibe.
Put out the welcome mat, see who comes knocking.
Get to the edge of the bar and start presenting. Telling someone at the bar that's what you're doing.
God. Whew. Well, I'll get that put together, I guess.
Shall we take a look at our first episode of The Simpsons?
Yeah, let's do it.
Episode 20, War and Priest, Part 2. Part 1, I think it's safe to say, a dud.
I wasn't into it.
Yeah. What's War and Priest Part 2 going to hold?
As much as I love the work of Pete Holmes, I had a tough time with that first one.
Yeah, me too. Show's intro, I wish I could be more descriptive here, but that intro had to be send up of some other popular show's intro. Do you remember at all?
Is it Succession?
That could be something. It's some
Is it
kind
the one
of,
with like the faded,
Yep.
the kind of imagery? I think that's Succession.
Interesting. So that show's big enough for making this and assuming people would get it, huh?
Yeah, I assume so. People seem to like that show. I don't
Interesting.
know anything about it.
Any guess where one would watch it?
I think that's HBO.
Is it? Oh,
Yeah,
okay. That makes more sense.
I'm pretty positive, actually.
Episode begins with Kent Brockman giving a rundown of what happened in part 1. So that's just kind of like a little refresher. The true episode begins in church, which, of course, is packed because Springfield loves Pastor Bodie. Am I getting that right? Pastor Bodie, yep. The new pastor is a hit, except, of course, for Ned, who doesn't like how laid back and lovey-dovey church has become. And he tries to debate the new preacher during the service, but the congregation loves this new guy, especially Lisa. Lisa's just all about it.
Over the moon. So much so we get a musical number.
Yeah, which I wrote was being very forgettable.
There's, not to blow past it right away, but the church is so packed, and Homer's like, oh, it's so crowded in here. And the camera pulls back, and Kirk Van Houten's got his leg up against Homer's leg and goes, looks like we're knee neighbors.
Oh, my God, yeah. Jesus, Kirk. Oh, my God.
I laughed real hard at that.
Meanwhile, the Lovejoys arrive in Michigan because that's how the first one ended, is they got like a little bit of information that Pastor Bodie had gotten fired.
Yeah.
So they have to get to the bottom of this. So they end up going to Michigan. They find out that's where he had been a pastor before. And turns out Bodie's old church is one of those giant mega churches. That's, I think, the proper descriptor.
Yeah, mega church.
It takes for a while for Lovejoy to find anyone that's in charge. He eventually does. He gets to talk to a pastor, and he gives the Lovejoys a zip drive of Pastor Bodie burning something during a church service. I think it's kind of purposely left out of view.
Yeah. We don't get to see what it is, but it's him being like, no, that doesn't matter, and that doesn't matter, and this doesn't matter, and then set something on fire.
So they're very happy to get this, the Lovejoys. Like, here we go.
The Lovejoys are out for blood.
Yeah, absolutely. So they make their way back to Springfield. Lovejoy is in a hurry, and in a traffic jam, he pisses off a trucker real bad. Just so good.
When they're driving, and they're driving so fast, and he's got his tie loose and his collar unbuttoned and his hair going in the breeze, and Mrs. Lovejoy's like swooning at him.
Yeah.
And he tightens his tie, and she's like, oh, never mind.
Yeah. For one moment, she's into him.
And then I think in that same sequence, she's like, oh, maybe when we get home, and he goes, in the choo-choo room? And she's like, that moment is gone, and sits back down. Something about in the choo-choo room. He's so excited.
In his voice, too. It's so good.
He's so excited to slam in his trade room.
Yeah, we get a lot of good Lovejoy here. We don't get a whole lot of him recently.
Yeah.
Never have gotten a lot of him. It's not like he was ever a main character.
He gets his own episode once in a while.
Yeah.
But
there's one where he like saves them at like an amusement park. Like,
in the miniature choo-choo train. Yeah, he saves Ned from something or another.
Yep, exactly. So the Lovejoys are on their way back to town. Meanwhile, Homer brings the new pastor to Moe's so that he can tie one on and confess his sins.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Like, oh, fuck. When he drops the line, I think it's, I had impure thoughts about the mother bear and the toilet paper commercials. Jesus Christ, that's insane.
That's very funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked that a lot.
Yeah. And we get there is more laughs in the second one than in the first one.
Yeah.
I would say. And most of them come while they're at Moe's. But while he's there, Bodie realizes he's late for a meeting with Ned. I think he gets a phone call and he's like, "Hey Homer, does this Ned guy ever get on your nerves?" Like, we get like a spit take from Homer that lasts forever.
Yeah, too long.
Yeah. So Bodie goes over to the Flanderses, and Ned challenges him to a scripture recital shootout.
I guess.
Yeah, I don't know how do you properly describe that, but they're basically just shouting memorized Bible verses at each other. And after a while, Ned capitulates, and Bodie is the winner.
Good use of capitulate.
Right? Yeah.
Look at you.
That came out of nowhere.
Daddy went to college.
To dig down deep for that one. Not even in the notes. During next Sunday's service, again, packed house, everyone's loving it.
It's Aloha Sunday.
Yeah.
It's a Hawaiian themed church service. They got a beach ball going around the room.
What the hell? Even that would offend my
I
sensibilities.
was laughing so hard at Aloha Sunday.
So Lovejoy bursts through the doors and disrupts church. And what did the trucker break his thumbs? Or
Broke both his arms.
Jesus!
He's got them crossed in front of himself, each one in a sling and a cast.
Yeah, so he got jacked up by that trucker.
He has to ask, will someone point menacingly at this man? Because he walks in like, hold it right there. And I think it's Abe is like, I can do that, and points at Bodie.
So he's there to reveal the truth, and it turns out that video shows Pastor Bodie burning a Bible during church. So as you can imagine how fucking well that goes over.
They're not fans.
Yeah. Well, some of them like him so much they're almost like, well, let's hear it out. And then the other ones are like, nope, get rid of him immediately.
Yeah.
So they kind of have to get to the bottom of it. So that's where I think Lisa gets involved. And I don't know if she does it herself or if they kind of put her in charge of moderating like a town hall debate.
Right.
Because, of course, it's going to be at the town hall.
Yeah.
Because apparently this town has one church. Insanity.
They mob up quick.
Yeah.
We've seen the Catholic Church
yeah.
forever ago.
When does that come into play?
It was an episode with what's his name? Liam Neeson is the priest.
Oh,
and,
yeah. Jesus.
And it's a weird... shit. That's probably episode like 40 of our show.
Yeah.
It's probably season 12 or something like that. So we've seen Catholics.
Yeah. I kind of forgot about that. You're right. That's been a while ago, though. So at the town hall debate, Lovejoy is just like, he admits to doing it. We have the footage. Why are we even doing this? Get him out of here. Like, fucking, yeah. And half the crowd's like, yeah, right. Yeah, get rid of him. We can't have him. While the others want Bodie to stay. And then we kind of get a feuding amongst the crowd.
Yeah.
Like, I can't remember who's all involved. You can picture. Mo has to be rabble-rousing in some way,
Mo
I'm
is
sure.
definitely like with the run him out of town crew.
So tempers start to flare, and Bodie just volunteers to leave town because the last thing he wants to do is divide the people there.
Yeah.
So the debate kind of wraps up. While they're out, it's almost like it's church. They're like the pastors are out there greeting people. The Simpsons invite him over for meatloaf, and he accepts. And he just comes over and eats, and that's it. There's no jokes or nothing. It's like,
there's one joke in that scene, and it was during this scene I was like, I had the same question that they then address with the joke. Yeah, there's really no jokes. They're just around the table eating.
Yeah.
And then Bart wanders into frame,
Yeah,
and Homer's like, where the hell have you been?
yeah,
And
that's pretty
it.
good. Yeah.
Because I thought the same thing, because Bart's not at the table, and he hasn't been in this whole episode.
A two-parter,
Yeah.
no less. Yeah. But basically, this is just a way for like Lisa to set up like I need to have a chance to talk to you, kind of. And I think they go to the church. I think that's where they're at.
I think so,
when
yeah.
she visits him, And she's asking him like why he did it. And he was kind of like, well, I just wanted to show that like God is in your heart, not in this book. And that like this is what actually matters. And fucking basically he's trying to prove a point. Something like that. But Lisa's like, Springfield is too dumb to get that kind of subtext.
Yeah. And like even Lisa is kind of like, dude, why would you do that?
Yeah,
Like I'm 8 and I know that that's not how you get that across.
That's her exact line, yeah. And he hopes that the people can find it in their hearts to forgive him, but like I think a brick gets thrown through the window.
Yeah.
And like they're mobbing up as.
There's a fun joke there where he's like, what is your custom? Do I throw it back?
Yeah. Like it's a Cubs home game.
And he like holds the brick and he's like, flips it over like, I was hoping maybe there was a forgiveness note written on it. And Lisa's just like, no. He goes, well, maybe they wrote it in red. No.
But since they can't, he finally realizes that no, they're not going to forgive him. So he just leaves town.
Yep.
And that's that.
That's the episode.
That needed 2. That needed 2 in their heads. Unbelievable.
I was like, holy shit. When the credits rolled, I was like,
Yep.
wait, is this
I couldn't believe that's
this
like,
episode 5 minutes long?
right?
Or
Like, why? You don't squeeze any more laughs out of the dinner scene. You don't like. What was basically the time in the bar and the time with the Lovejoys was the only shit I gave a shit about.
You didn't need 2 episodes
No.
here. No. Especially when you think back to the first episode being bad, with no jokes.
Yep. Like you could have edited out so much of the church stuff.
Yeah.
Like we didn't need so many examples of him being this great, cool, hip pastor, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Like if you remember from last week, like there's huge swaths of time in that first episode of just him in church preaching.
Yeah. Oh, wow. He's so much. It's almost like some writer had control of this. And it's like, you can do your church one. Oh, great. Now I can talk about what I like in a pastor.
Yeah.
Because it didn't fit in with the show even. Like.
But like this episode, I like. There's good laughs in this episode. There's plenty. I think if you could have just given me this episode,
Yeah.
and skipped last week's altogether.
This actually feels like a better premise for King of the Hill.
Oh, sure.
We're like,
yeah.
I can't think of his name right now. Hank struggles with a new style of pastor. Because that would make more sense. Because Homer don't give a shit.
That's true.
Yeah, like he has no he hates church, like.
But Ned gives a shit, you know. But there's not all that much him versus Ned in this either.
And then Ned just gets defeated right away.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus, this was fucking Homer being sexually attracted to the mother bear in the toilet paper commercials
is very funny.
And just how drunk he gets.
Yeah, just shithouse.
Yeah. Is the pastor drinking?
He's drinking a Buzz Cola.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. There's also another good laugh when Lisa says, like, listen, Springfieldians aren't smart enough to get subtext. She goes, our NPR station broadcasts wrestling. And she turns on the radio, and it's just people in soft NPR voices like, oh, yes, there's a devastating half Nelson. That's very funny.
Yeah, that's pretty good. So there were more laughs. It's still not a plethora.
No.
Yeah. Boy.
Better than the first half.
Season 31 started so strong.
31 was good.
Tailed off hard.
Yeah, it's,
I'm just waiting for the optimism to kind of.
Well, I'm struggling because I like this episode. I'm not over the fucking moon about it, but I like this episode. I just really didn't like last episode, so the whole 2-part episode concept is I'm struggling with
there
right
had
now.
to be a way to make this one episode.
But this is what we got.
At this point, our objections are meaningless.
And I love Pete Holmes, so I'm happy that he got to do a 2-part Simpsons
he got to do
episode.
a big old Simpsons character.
Yeah. And essentially, like I said last week, just like playing himself as far as his beliefs go. He's in all that all is one Ram Dass kind of thing. So, like, yeah, I'm conflicted.
Well, do you think we get another one of these? I mean, the hour is drawing near, so we only have a couple seasons to go. I think this is the last two-parter we get. I wonder if that's something they've revisited.
I bet it's the most recent one.
And I can't imagine this was well received. So yeah, they probably haven't went back to it.
Because I mean, like the first two-parter was forever ago. That was episode or season 9, and then the second two-parter, the hip hop Great Gatsby
Was
one,
deep in the 20s.
Yeah, probably the early 20s, and now we did this one.
Yeah, I think that was for like episode or season 24 or something.
Yeah, something like that. So I bet this is the most recent two-parter.
And I bet that the Who Killed Mr. Burns was even a little earlier than 9.
Think so?
I think that was almost smack dab in what people consider the golden age.
4 or 5, maybe.
4, 5, 6.
Okay. Yeah, I'd believe that. It was a long time ago.
Yeah, it sure was. Even in the history of our podcast, it was a long time ago.
We get a clip from it in that Succession opening. We get Burns dropping the gun and Maggie shooting him.
You're right. Yeah.
Apparently that show is good. People like that show.
Oh, man.
I don't know fucking anything about it.
And HBO rarely strikes out. They're not perfect, but they rarely strike out.
Yeah, people like it. Episode 21 is The Hateful 8-Year-Olds. Have we talked? We had to have. Have you seen Hateful Eight?
Nope, only Tarantino movie I haven't seen.
Okay, I haven't seen it either.
It's so long.
I've heard it's long and talky, but that's what you're there for, right?
I need to get around to it.
I like Walton Goggins a lot.
Yeah. Kurt Russell's in it.
Yep, I like
Jennifer
Kurt
Jason
Russell
Leigh's
a lot.
in it.
Yep.
Samuel Jackson's in it.
Yep.
Good cast.
Yep. You're saying all the right words.
Right?
The only words of those I don't super care for are Quentin Tarantino.
Oh, no shit. See, I'm a fan.
I like the old stuff, but he got so masturbatory there in the middle.
Yeah. Oh, man. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood's pretty good.
That's what I've heard. I have not seen.
That's his best 21st century movie.
Oh, okay.
It's that. I think it's right up there with the best stuff he's ever done.
Yeah, people seem to like that one.
It's a good one.
The Hateful 8-Year-Olds. We get a joke about the mail and how getting the mail sucks.
Irrelevant it is.
Because it's nothing but fucking garbage, which is exactly the case. I got in the mail this week, not 5 days ago, in the mail, got a fucking fat-ass Uline catalog. I've never ordered anything from Uline ever.
What kind of products does Uline sell?
Uline sells like packaging equipment. Like Uline sells pallet wrap and fucking padded envelopes and
Interesting.
and shipping tape dispensers and bubble wrap by the bale.
What kind of drunk Google searches were you doing end up on that list?
How did I get on this mailing list? And it's the size of a goddamn phone book.
What the hell? No kidding.
I live in an apartment. I get this tiny little box.
That the mailman obviously mule kicked into that box to get it to fit. It's like the Great Muda. Did a somersault before the moon kick.
I was blown away. Opened that up. I was like, what the fuck? All the rest of my mail smashed into the back of the fucking box.
Just push it out slow like a canister of biscuits. Guess the mail's here.
It came out like it does here. Homer finally goes out to the mailbox, the mailbox in.
That was good.
And knocks it on the kitchen table until the mail slides out in this like cranberry
very gelatinous,
sauce fucking meatloaf. And then he carves it with an electric fillet knife. Just cuts through it. Who wants a heel end?
That was good.
Unbelievable.
90% of my mail is completely garbage, just right into the fucking recycling.
Yeah, it's terrible. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, make it edible. Make it like, okay, I could shred this and eat it like coleslaw. Like, do that for us. Some kind of fucking seaweed extract that they can make into a paper that we can eat.
I am super behind this. I am on board.
The idea of just ripping open one end of a thing of junk mail and squeezing a packet of mayonnaise in it and like rubbing it together with your hands. This is good.
I like the idea of running it through a paper shredder, then popping that shredder off the top and getting a handful and spreading it over some Pokeball, like seaweed shred.
Or like crispy onions over like a burger or something.
Perfect. Yeah. On the top of a green bean casserole.
There's so many options. Whoever's out there with doing mass mailings.
Get us potato paper so we can use
Tater
it.
papers.
It's like those little shoestring potatoes that you buy in the cardboard tube, the oatmeal tube. So Homer's got the mail. Lisa has an invite to a birthday party for her friend Addie, who we've never met before. We make a few jokes that we've never met her before.
She's a horse girl like Lisa.
Horse girl, total horse
likes
girl.
books.
Yeah. Loves old book smell. I'm 100% on board with old book smell. I was in an antique store not a week ago sniffing a fucking book.
Oh, they run you out of there? Sir, you're visibly aroused. I just like the books. Let me rub up against the books a little bit. I'll just go home, baby. I'll be out of your hair. Just let me rub against the books.
I was flipping through a 1931 math textbook. Just like, look at this shit. Look at the numbers. I like antiques. I won't apologize.
Some say too much.
Very nearly bought an antique baby jumper because it was cool.
This baby's long dead.
For sure is. That chair was from 1898.
No shit.
That baby's hella dead.
No one remembers that baby.
That baby's baby is dead, probably.
Fuck you, baby. Dumb old dead baby.
I buy this dead baby chair. Will you throw in a couple of books?
Fuck yeah.
Oh, God. Bart is just a shithead to poor Lisa. She's packing up to go to this sleepover, and he's knocking over all her toy horses and shit, and making fart sounds like 10-year-old boys do.
He has a great line. It's like, when cars were invented, why didn't they just kill all the horses with cars?
With cars, yep.
When that comes to him is so good.
I immediately thought of you, knowing how you feel about horses.
Yeah, God, yeah. Why aren't we making them into food? Is my question.
You need a horse. You need anything if you want.
Yeah, but I mean, I want to be able to go into a goddamn fucking Quick Trip and get some horse sausage.
Get a horse sandwich?
Yeah. Fresh horse meat sandwiches.
How do you think the best way to serve horse would be? Are you thin slicing for a sandwich?
I wonder.
Are you grinding for a burger, a horse burger?
How do they use it in French cuisine, I wonder?
I have no idea.
Yeah, so many questions. The internet could solve all these problems.
Thin sliced horse, a horse roast? Are you, because horses are lean. That's roasted meat.
See, like horses in a goddamn fucking feeding, like getting them fat, like big rotund horses.
Just grunting.
All fucking swole up. All look like Magnus for Magnuson. They've been feeding us Rolos. Holy shit, that fat horse could talk. Too bad we got to shoot him in the head with this bolt.
We maybe shouldn't be eating these. They can talk. Is that grass fed? Nope, caramel. Mostly caramel.
I think he said more Rolos. No, it's the opposite. Please.
Please, no.
It's hard to hold my head up anymore.
Please, no more Rolos.
Here's my Rolos. On the back of a cement truck, they're just spinning out an endless stream of Rolos. They are pretty good.
A horse with the feed bag that you put around their face, but it's full of Mike and Ike's. Oh, God.
Some farmhands going by breaking open sticks of 6 slits and pouring them in. It's good for their coat. That's certainly not true.
Good for their coat, which we sell as belts after all this. Oh, God. Man, I love a 6-lit. Why doesn't anyone respect a 6-lit?
Ooh, that's a trash candy.
What?
Yeah, I had trash candy, just a mediocre candy.
They're good. They're like they're better than a plain M&M. Give me
Holy.
give me a handful of Sixlets over a handful of plain M&Ms.
Insert like cop alarm right now because that's a hot take alert. Holy shit. Sick. I mean, M&M, I can take it or leave it. I would definitely take an M&M over a Sixlet.
M&M, like the chocolate is on the inside is like too hard. The shell is too thick. Sixlets are like extremely thinly coated.
Yeah.
The chocolate's nice and soft.
Sixlet will melt in your shirt pocket on a hot day.
Yeah, whereas M&Ms won't melt in your hand.
Yeah.
That was their whole thing.
Yep, just full of chemicals.
Like I prefer, like, you give me any M&M except a plain M&M.
Oh, really? Interesting. God, I haven't fucked up a thing of peanut M&Ms in a while, but I could, trust me.
They're real good.
Yeah.
Peanut butter's the best one.
Yeah. Really?
Oh yeah,
For
by
me,
a mile.
it's just like I could do that, or I could get Reese's.
Yeah, but I think a peanut butter M get the fucking siren again. A peanut butter M&M is better than a Reese's
Holy
Pieces.
shit.
100%.
This is too many hot take alerts. We need to have a trigger warning for this episode, unironically.
Put it at the top of the episode.
Mark the times.
Yep.
If you are easily offended at the 1923 second mark, one of the hosts will say something very offensive.
The views of Marlon do not reflect the views of Nathan or American Barley Basket as a whole.
Listener discretion is advised.
The only weirdo M&M besides a plain that I don't care for is the caramel one, because the crunchy shell and the chewy caramel give you the same sensation as like
Eating a bug.
boy.
I wasn't trying to be funny. I thought that's what you're going to go with.
No,
And crunching through the hard shell into the guts. Icky, it's on my tongue. You in the entry of a holiday station, waving your hands like it's hot. That motherfucker's eating M&M's. Spinning in a circle, spitting everywhere. Just 2 seconds pass, another handful go away. Oh no!
He ain't paid for them yet.
Wiping your tongue on your coat sleeve. Oh.
No, they have the same mouth sensation as like having like I'm chewing bubble gum and then I ate some almonds.
That's a weird thing.
You're just
Yep.
like, nah, God.
No, I don't like this.
It's this. It just breaks your brain. This anomaly of textures happening that is like, nope, don't like this.
No, don't swallow.
Eck.
Yeah, you're just at that same gas station. Finally, you can keep it in your mouth, but you can't swallow. Just spitting up everywhere.
Is this all for you?
I think so. I hope so.
I can't.
I wish I wouldn't have bought the family bag. That's all my monies. Can I get different snacks?
I should have got Sixlets.
We don't sell those here. Oh.
Oh, nobody does. Oh shit!
You need to get some Sixlets merch. Like I guess, they could probably be a good looking jacket, like a yellow Sixlets windbreaker.
Big Sixlets logo on the back. I was like, oh, maybe like a flat brim cap. No, you're just immediately nope, jacket
With like yellow, bright lime green sunglasses with dark lenses that say Sixlets on each side.
on the bows. Yeah.
I like the looks of that.
All right, I will shop for Sixlets merch.
I bet it's easy to find.
Do I gotta fucking add that to that insane outfit you built for me earlier?
That's your casual. That's your
that's
going to play beach volleyball.
in my Sixlets jacket.
Yeah, it's brisk day.
I can only go to the beach when it's cool.
Body image issues. I only take my shirt off when I play volleyball.
Too real.
Telling that to the fucking snack vendors, you buy more fucking caramel M&M. Fuck! Still trying to power through them. I'm puking all over the sand. Give me a minute.
Have the decency of a cat, bury it. What's the matter with you? Oh, shit. I gotta get that boy out of here. Oh, shit. We get to Addie's, and Addie's super fucking rich.
Yeah.
Like insane, like Bruce Wayne.
Live in a mansion.
Manor.
Yeah.
Yep. There's a party planner who's there. The parents aren't there, but this party planner is.
Do we ever see the parents?
No,
I think we do. Yeah.
No, we don't. They go out in this. I loved this bit. They go out in a little like Jeep style Power Wheels.
Yeah.
Addie's driving, and Lisa is like, she's dressed like Alan Grant from Jurassic Park with the hat and the kerchief and
that's
everything.
pretty good.
And Addie's talking, and she just is staring off in the distance and waves for her to stop and stands up and shakily takes her sunglasses off, just does that Jurassic Park thing and turns Addie's head. And then we get the shot of all of these horses. Addie has horses.
Yeah, tell me you had horses.
And then in the background, what they're not looking at, a brontosaurus goes walking by. I like that. I like that a lot. Homer and Marge, in the meantime, Homer is like, you know, the grandpa's with the other kids, and I booked us a fucking sunset cruise for the night. And Marge says, "Oh my God, you're so attractive when you put forth the minimal effort."
That's depressing.
Ridiculous. So they're going out on a sunset cruise. Meanwhile, Lisa on her horse, which she's loving, meets Addie's shithead friends.
One is like super like short and to the point. One's British, and then there's like a alpha female, the meanest of the mean girls.
Yeah, they're all super mean girls. Yeah.
That one's like acts way older than she is.
Yeah. They're the fucking worst. They're terrible.
My notes are, stop being so goddamn mean to Lisa.
Yeah.
Like this is real life.
All of these girls, I guess, including Addison, voiced by girls from Riverdale.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then one of them is like a YouTube star.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, these are all the Riverdale girls, apparently. Which I'm surprised you haven't watched, being the Archie guy you are.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not for you.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I bet there are some creepy dudes watching it.
Oh, yeah. Pulling on it.
Yeah, I love Veronica and Betty so much. I guess Dilton's kind of cute, too. I wouldn't say no to Archie. I don't know what Jughead's deal is. Moose split me in half like a Christmas goose. I'm not saying no. I have to prep for it.
Just give me 48 hours warning. Do anything you want.
Oh, please don't leave Riverdale for the kids, for the teens, in the college age, not for 45-year-old men.
Yeah, don't ruin it for the CWs. So these girls are all fucking terrible. And Addie's like, "Oh yeah, they're terrible, but they'll grow on you. Just give it a little time." And then we're sitting around giving gifts, and all the mean girls give Addie her gift, and then Lisa gives her gift, which is an adorable little toy pony that has a straw hat that his ears fit through. Lisa's so proud of it.
Yeah.
And Addie fucking turns heel.
Yeah, hard heel turn.
Addie kicks Lisa through the barbershop window. And is just like, "This would be a great gift for babies," and like yells at fucking Lisa. Turns hard.
Yeah. Like Lisa's like now like huddling in a bathroom.
Yeah, devastated.
Yeah.
Trying to call her folks, and like she does get a hold of Homer, but the reception is so bad out on that boat that he can't tell what she's saying.
Yeah. Well, actually, to him, it's like, "I'm doing fine. Don't come here," or something like that. Yeah.
When in reality, she's like, "Nothing is fine. Please come get me." Yeah. So then Lisa, I guess, just tries to suck it up and goes and sits with these girls when they're watching TV, but it's a scary show of some sort.
Yeah. Can you recall what it's supposed to be?
No, I didn't catch. But like Lisa is scared of the show and like puts a blanket over her head, but of course they were taping her with her phone, and then they put it on the internet, and they're online bullying Lisa now. Addie explains to Lisa that the only reason she invited Lisa was so the mean girls would have a different target because she's usually the target of
So
their bullying.
terrible.
So she brought Lisa and then tries to spin it as, no, it's great because next sleepover, you bring someone else. You bring a Lisa.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus, that's depressing.
Jesus. Lisa, since she can't really get a hold of their folks, calls Bart for help.
Yeah, and they had a falling out earlier.
Yeah, when they're having the horse fight in her room. But Bart can't have anybody fucking making an ass out of his little sister. So he calls himself a lift, and it's Skinner, which
my
is
God.
great. Poor Skinner has to drive a lift on the side while also being a goddamn school principal.
I think I paid you not to talk. Oh, yes, I'm sorry.
We're on the cruise. There's a band played by Weezer. Weezer is this band.
Yeah.
And they're playing on the cruise, and like the lead singer looks like he's making eyes at Marge, but then it turns out so Homer was mad at that, and then turns out no, he was making eyes at the younger, hotter lady behind Marge, and now Homer's mad that he wasn't hitting on his wife because Marge is bummed out.
Yeah.
So Homer sticks up for her, ends up knocking all the booze off of the boat, so now they have no booze on this booze cruise. Bart shows up at Addie's mansion and gets a hold of Lisa, and they're going to make him pay. At first, she's like, good, we can get out of here. And he's like, no.
No, it's not that easy.
And like explains like, I can't tell you what to do for revenge. Revenge has to come from your heart. It's just so good. I love how cold-blooded Bart is.
And how
here.
like smart he can be when it comes to certain things.
Exactly. He's brilliant when it comes to being a shit ass.
I am such a fan of the episodes where Lisa and Bart are like have to same team it.
I thought the same thing because I also love the episodes where Bart is a good brother, when he's a good big brother.
Yeah.
She ends up going into their room where they're all sleeping. They've all braided up their hair, and she puts all of their braids in hoof hardener and like splays them out.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Okay, we did it." And then we go back to the cruise for a minute. Homer like gives this big impassioned speech about how plans aren't good and we should all just stay home. He's like, I didn't ruin this cruise. We all did when we decided to go on it, which is funny. The girls all wake up because I think Lisa's phone goes off and wakes them all up, and they all like lift their heads, and then all of their hair just shatters, so they all have Lisa spikes
we
now.
look like you.
And they're all freaking the fuck out. They're super mad. Bart's like, don't worry about it. I got a ride waiting outside. And they go outside the manor just as Skinner is taking off. And he's looking at his phone. He's going, ooh, an airport ride during surge pricing. Goodbye, dot matrix printer. Hello, bubble jet. The idea that Skinner has a goddamn dot matrix printer in 2020.
Or the fact that he's the principal and doesn't have printing privileges at the school. Like,
Oh my god.
yeah, so good.
Goodbye, dot matrix printer. Hello, bubble jet. He's so excited. Oh god. Whew. Lisa has an idea to get us out of here, goes in, gets one of the horses, and then we reveal Bart doesn't hate horses. Bart's terrified of horses. Yeah. He's like, nothing should be that jacked.
It cuts to its chest.
Yeah, a horse chest. A horse is just a muscle on top of 4 stilts.
Yeah.
Just a 1,400-pound muscle. But Lisa, gives him a pep talk, and they get on the horse and they take off. But the girls are also on horses and they surround them. And then Lisa pleads with Addison to do the right fucking thing here, and tosses her a book from the horse series they've both been reading.
I can't think of what it is, but it's good. Yeah.
And Addie does the right thing and turns on the girls, yanking the rip cords on all of their inflatable safety vests, and rides back home having done the right thing. And that's the episode.
And I would say implied that friendship's probably over.
Yeah, the Addie and Lisa one. Yeah, I would assume so.
That is an episode I did enjoy.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That was a fun one.
That one had a lot of stuff I like. Lisa loving horses, that insanely great Jurassic Park
that
reference.
was very good.
Bart being a good big brother. Like, a good episode.
Yeah, it hits on a lot of things, the hallmarks of a good episode.
Yeah, I love a Lisa one. Yeah. We've said from day one.
The B story was fine.
Yeah, I didn't care. Yeah. And then we get Weezer playing the Simpsons theme over the credits.
Which,
that seems like a Weezer thing to do.
Yep. Surprised it hasn't happened already.
Do you give a shit about Weezer?
I really like their old shit, like anyone my age does.
Sure. I
could put together an 10-track greatest hits of everything they've put out since the year 2000. Yeah. And it'd be a 10. Well, I don't know if I could do like a 15. Like,
you should make me a Weezer playlist. Let's pretend I've never heard a Weezer song and have no opinion.
Oh, you never got into the old shit at all?
No,
really?
Not at all.
Huh.
I don't think I heard a Weezer song till I was 19.
Oh, interesting.
And even now, like, I love Dope Nose.
Yeah.
That might be the only Weezer song I like.
Oh, no shit. Man, dig into that Pinkerton album from like 96.
Dig into the Pink. I'm always saying it. I actively don't like Undone.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. I get that.
It's so drony.
Yeah.
If you want it. Yeah. Not a fan. I like Islands in the Sun.
Yeah, it's a catchy enough song.
Yeah, it's fun.
Well, hell, you might like Weezer a lot because that's the Dope Nose, Island in the Sun. That's the direction they went as they went on.
Okay.
Yeah.
God, Dope Nose is good.
Yeah. And that one is like a forgotten Weezer single.
Huh. I didn't know it was a single.
Oh, yeah. That was the first video off of that Mal Detroit or whatever that album is called.
No. I believe you.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I'll take your word for it.
You look at me like, right?
Right? Does that sound correct? 2002, probably. We're up to the final episode of season 31, episode 22, The Way of the Dog. And a Christmas episode, ?
In spring?
In April, has to be. Like, I kick myself. I should have done this. I wanted to look back. Like, did this air out of order? But I don't think it did.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. And yeah, this aired in May, mid-May.
Wonder what the story is behind it.
I suppose they wanted to do this episode, but I feel like you could have done it in a way that doesn't set it at Christmas.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, it's weird. Is Way of the Dog that Benedict Cumberbatch movie?
Oh.
That's Power of the Dog.
Power of the Dog, yeah.
My bad.
Yeah.
I heard that was good.
Then there was Way of the Gun with Ryan Philippe and Benicio del Toro, I believe.
Oh, I don't know that.
Really strong Pulp Fiction-y, Boondock Saints-y kind of fucking. We're cool nihilists and shoot a ton of guns, real stylistically. It's modern times. That's all I remember. But like those kind of vibes. Yeah. The Simpsons come home from Christmas shopping to find out that Santa's little helper has powerbombed their house into oblivion. Like, trashed it. Like, there's like rips and bites higher up than that thing could jump. Santa's little helper was possessed by the devil when they were gone.
Powerbombed their house into oblivion. Yeah, yep, totally.
Tell the vet that.
That's a thrown out lyric from that Eve 6 song.
Dog powerbomb a house to oblivion. Rendezvous and I'm through with you. Beautiful.
Yeah, nailed it.
And they notice he's like staring at like a smudge on the side of the counter.
Yep.
Yeah, like, is that ever addressed?
Yeah.
And would I be spoiling it if you were to say it?
Well, it looks like the teats that you see later on.
I never even put that together.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, man.
Yeah, I was like, wait a second. Like, that's never even addressed. This is bullshit. The whole world is bullshit.
We've already driven past it, but I have to circle back that when they pull up to the house, we get Starfish Maggie.
Oh, we
always
do.
a joy.
Yeah, in May.
Yeah, in May during this May Christmas episode.
Yeah. Lisa, of course, is the one that comes with the idea. We need to take Santa's little helper to a dog psychiatrist. I think she holds up like a magazine with this woman on the cover or a book or something like that.
Elaine Wolf.
Yeah. So that's what they do, actually.
Dog psychologist.
Yeah.
How do you feel? You big fan of dog psychologists?
You know what I would think about
How many
that.
times have you been to a dog psychologist?
You can always get another dog.
That's kind of all I thought during this episode was like, well, I bet Nathan thinks this is dumb.
we get a good visual where I think Homer's in bed and Lisa approaches him like, listen, I've come to terms with the fact that you do not listen to women. He's like, oh, honey, I love you too. So I'm going to have Bart speak for me.
So good.
Bart, when he walks up, how you doing? He like slicks his hair back with his, like he's preparing for a speech. And he don't read so good. Lisa's got to be there to help him. But since Bart says it, Homer's like, you know what? You're right. I think we should. And then, like, is that where they have like a sweet moment of like, you get the number one prize, a Homer hug.
Yep. And Lisa, since you wrote it, you get a Homer hug.
Yeah.
And she loves it.
Yeah,
She's like,
this is wholesome.
Yeah, this is an adorable little moment.
So that's what they do. They don't really bring it for a one-on-one. It's more like a seminar. Like,
Yeah, that lady's doing a seminar.
because there's countless people with their dogs in there.
Yeah.
It's like Springfield people you would recognize. And basically, she just chews out all the owners at the seminar, really doesn't seem to do anything of value.
No.
Just tells everyone they're assholes.
Yep.
Yep.
Like, oh, you think you're dog owners? Like you own a living thing? I was like, I'm fucking done with this episode.
Yeah, I bought the dog. There's a store in the fucking mall that sells them.
I was like, huh. This is what this lady's deal is, huh?
We get Dedrick Tatum with a like teacup poodle or like a chihuahua or something like that. Like 2 episodes in 2 weeks where we have Dedrick Tatum speaking roles, which is good.
Yep, he's weaseling in.
Mike Tyson was back in the public eye at this time.
Yeah.
So, again, nothing really gets accomplished during this thing except them getting browbeaten by Elaine. And when they're outside afterwards, Lisa confronts Elaine in the parking lot, kind of like right away, kind of nicely, but then like, listen, you're going to fix our goddamn dog.
And like puts her dukes up, like, or else.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Lisa, are you going to beat this old woman?
Yeah. And the old woman at least like acknowledges, okay, I see, that you're serious about this, but like she can't like emotionally like connect with another dog. So she kind of leaves in a huff. Santa's little helper follows her, but of course you're not going to catch a car. And then cut back to the Simpson household where Marge gets bit when she tries to take away the Santa hat that Santa's little helper's been carrying around. So that can't have your dog biting people. Bring Santa's little helper to the vet. The vet just calmly suggests, well, you can just put him down right now.
We had a cancellation. We can put him down right now. He's so cheery.
Yeah, like, hey, good news.
Yep. Hey, we can kill this dog today.
Yeah, which they are, of course, appalled by the idea. It's like, no, thank you. We'll bring our dog home, which they do. But
I was less appalled by the idea.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like a snap judgment. Seems like moving a little fast. But he did bite Marge. And I've never liked this dog from the get-go.
Yeah, that dog has been a shitbird from day one.
Yep. It's a fucking racetrack dog.
Yeah.
Like, did they expect people to forget 31 episodes in that it's a fucking racetrack dog?
Yeah. It's a shit dog.
Yeah, it's a terrible dog.
Shit dog from the word go.
We had so many episodes in those early days about what a piece of shit this dog is.
Are greyhounds known to be shit dogs, even if they're treated right? I think, or maybe dumb.
Or they do. I don't know anything about greyhounds. Somebody in my building has a greyhound, and every time I see it, it just looks terrified of everything.
Oh, really?
So they got those big, ugly fucking fish eyes,
Yeah.
and it's every bone is too small. It's like you tried to build a dog out of bird bones.
Yeah.
And they're always like,
Oh, really? High
they're
strong.
fucking terrified of everything.
Probably a terror piss.
Yeah, and it's like, you don't even look like you are fun to pet. You're just bones.
I want a dog whose heart beats 3 times a minute.
Yeah, like
Just
mine.
a big floppy,
Yep.
yeah, just barely moves.
Yeah, just fucking flop over on the floor
Yeah.
every couple of seconds. You just hear a thump.
Just lays down beside you. You can scratch it with your foot.
Yep.
It gets it.
Yeah.
It's hard to lean over and scratch. I'll come to you.
I get it.
So they're back home where they're quickly met by Chief Wiggum, who's like, oh, yeah, that veterinarian informed, like, animal services about what happened. So they're going to come and take your dog. Which
Is once a biter, always a biter? We're going to come take it away and put it down. You think that's a real thing?
I don't know.
Like, I feel like I've heard, like, oh, if your dog bites somebody, the dog gets put down. That's just how it goes.
Oh, interesting. I definitely think that's the case if it bites someone outside of the family.
Sure. Yeah.
Like, if you're the owner, I bet it's up to you, I bet.
That would make sense.
Yeah. Yeah, that's weird. Like, what if it's a giant, mean dog? Like, does it like, oh, I just bit the owner? Well, yeah, that's the one person it shouldn't bite.
Right.
What's it going to be like around strangers? Oh, people that love their dogs too much. That's a fucking mental illness.
Yeah. 100%.
So the family is like, you are not taking our dog, but Wiggum's like, yeah, we are. And during this whole standoff, that's when Elaine Wolf like shows up at their door in a huff, and it's like, I can't stop thinking about Santa's Little Helper. I think I can help it. And like they inform her what's going on. Say, well, we got to go now. So like the kids, we get all your dog's possessions together. The fact that a dog has possessions. Jesus fucking Christ.
I get it. You pack up a bag full of toys and treats and shit. I get it. That's a dumb way to put it. Like, I get it, but that's not how I would put that.
I don't think our dog had one toy ever. Our dog's toy was nature. Go kill something and drag it around. Yeah. Another thing, there was a box of snacks or like treats, like
milk bones or
something like that, but never a toy. I never realized that. And all sorts of shit that wood everywhere. Have fun with that.
I think growing up on the farm, I think the dog toys were just my toys that I had to share with the dog. Like, if they bought a Frisbee, they bought it for me. Yeah. But it was for the dog, really.
You setting up a chemistry set and a dog kicking all over it. Oh.
Meanwhile, fast forward to today, how much of the real estate in my apartment is for cat toys? A lot. 40% maybe.
Eventually the cat has more of it than you do.
Yep. I just keep the cat toy area just keeps encroaching, pushing me out.
The game of Risk.
This is how I end up on a reservation. I know a history. I know this is bad. They just keep pushing.
First, they have all the valuable land.
Kitty, no.
Eventually, Bart and Lisa, they realize it has to be done, but they're very sad, which makes sense. So they get all the shit together, and she leaves in a hurry. And Wiggum is just like, okay, like, don't do that. They just do it. Like,
yeah.
He's like, well, then you got to make me a sandwich. And Marge is like, no. And he's like, being the chief of police stinks.
Wiggum is so fucking just impotent in his police power.
Especially at this point, yeah. So Elaine takes Santa's Little Helper to her home, which is just a giant dog kennel, just a house for dogs,
like a psych spa.
Yeah. And it's like the very first night she lets Santa's Little Helper go to sleep, and she studies him, notices that he's having nightmares. And I kind of missed something earlier on. A man called her and like was going to propose to her. named Hugh
Clayton.
Clayton, a very fancy man.
Yeah.
And
I've left my wife. We can be together.
and she's like, nah, can you give it a few weeks?
Insane.
I got to deal with this dog here. And he rightly is like, I can't do, like, he dug up his mom's corpse
To take her wedding
to
ring.
get a wedding ring. But he puts it in a sack that says dead woman's rings. Something like that.
Yeah.
Like, apparently he has a bunch of them. Like,
Left his wife, exhumed his own mother,
Yeah.
and still can't get the time of day from this lady.
yeah, so good.
That was such a weird little side plot that
Yeah.
doesn't really pay off. It
Yeah.
doesn't really go anywhere.
But it's weird is the right way to
Yeah.
put it. Yeah.
Like, all it's there for is to show how fucking bonkers this lady
Yeah.
is, you know?
And what we finally get to, which I was kind of wondering, is like there has to be a payoff here. She notices in Santa's little helper's sleeping pad thing, bed, I guess is what you would describe it as. Sleeping. May I show you my sleeping pad thing?
Oh, I got to go shop for a new sleeping pad thing. It's always such a hassle. I got to lay on a bunch of sleeping pad things till I can pick the one that's
It's a
for me.
Tempur-Pedic sleeping pad thing. I think
You know,
you'll
now
enjoy
they're
it.
selling sleeping pad things in the mail. You just get it in a box and it unrolls.
Each side adjusts.
I have an adjustable sleeping pad thing.
She notices in the bed that Santa's little helper's pushed in that Santa hat. And she pulls it out, and he gets very possessive about her. Gets worked up by it. And that's
Yeah.
when the light bulb goes off in her head. Well, we got to get to the bottom of this. So she shows up back at the Simpsons house, which they're fucking thrilled and surprised about. The kids get to see the dog again, and she shows him the hat. And Bart mentions that was the hat he was wearing the night they were at the racetrack, and they got Santa's little helper. And we get a flashback and just jarring how bad the animation was.
Yeah, that episode 1 is, oh boy, this show
Yeah.
looked different.
That's episode 1.
Yeah, that's episode
Fuck,
1.
I forget that they get the dog in the first episode.
Homer's got that weird voice.
Yeah, geez, that's a good OG Homer voice you're doing
thank
there.
you.
Yeah. He's a Simpson. So they all load up together and they realize, oh, he's a kennel dog, a race kennel dog. Let's find out where they would have gotten that dog, and they do.
I feel like they should have told her that earlier.
Yeah, no shit.
Like, we, the audience, or me anyway,
Yeah.
spent this whole time going, yeah, man, of course this dog's fucked up. This
Yeah.
dog's a racetrack dog.
Yeah, they're
Like,
not treated well.
this dog was a racetrack dog in episode 1. In episode 1, its owner runs it off throwing shit at it. It hasn't had a good pass.
This is hard to remember. Is the animation match up? You think the guy throwing shit at the dog looks like the guy they go to visit? Or
I don't
Maybe they're not
know.
necessarily supposed to be the same person even.
Yeah, they might not be the same person.
Yeah, they just buy the dogs. Yeah. So they go to the kennel owner's there, and they get the story out of him. And it turns out that he loved his mom so much when he was little, and he would outrace all the other puppies to get to her. And that's how they knew he'd be a good racer. We get a good scene of everyone slapping the kennel owner because of this. And even Maggie gets a slap. That was a good gag. He's like, oh, great. So now the guy that tortures dogs is the bad guy.
That was a good line.
But during all that scene, all the slap, and Santa's little helper's pawing at the door, and he gets out and runs off, and we find out he senses his mom, and he goes and sees his mom, apparently still alive.
It's a sliding time scale.
Yeah, right?
It hasn't been 31 years in Simpson time.
Yeah, but I guess, fucking Santa's little helper might be 3.
Right.
So that does add up. And he's happier than a pig and shit to be with his mom. And they bring all the dogs home. Now we got the mama dog on the couch. Is that canon, I asked?
No.
No. Yeah, so mom dog is back for the holidays. Fucking
In May.
bad episode. Jesus. My notes are woof, unironically.
Woof. I get it.
I just realized that now. Woof. Bad episode. Season 31 started so promising. Man, it did not end. I mean, like, the last episode was good. But, geez, we had a lot of sinkers in the last fucking 7 episodes or so.
Yeah, this is a tough one. Didn't like this one.
Yep. Like the Elaine, there was so much of the Elaine Wolf lady. Like, ugh.
That's Kate Blanchett.
Oh, interesting.
I spent the whole episode convinced it was Katie Seagal.
Oh, really?
I was like,
Oh,
we
yeah.
got Peg.
Yep,
We
I can
got
see
Peg
that.
Bundy. Look at this.
Was the suitor, the old gentleman suitor, anyone?
Michael York.
Why?
He's been on the show before.
Is he the older veterinarian?
Yes.
That sure sounds similar.
He's an old man. He was in like Logan's Run.
Oh, really?
And Lost Horizon, Murder on the Orient Express.
Okay.
Born in the fucking 40s. He's been on this show before. And yes, I think he is the old veterinarian.
Okay. That makes sense because that voice sounded familiar. I'm pretty sure he's the old veterinarian the more I think about it.
Yeah.
But yeah. Did not end on a good note. But by God.
There is one great joke in that episode, though. When Homer is talking about ordering the UFC pay-per-view. and he's like, what? We can't do... Marge is trying to get him to go to that dog seminar.
Yeah.
He's like, but I ordered the UFC pay-per-view. I paid $60 for that. And Marge is like, $60? And he's like, well, $70. I got it in HD. And then Marge, first off, says the anachronistic thing of, we don't even have high-def TV. Yeah, you fucking do.
Yeah.
But he gets sheepish, like puts his hands behind his back and like he's kicking a rock. And he's like, I wanted the operator to think I was a big shot. The idea that he wants to impress the operator. Like... The joke doesn't make any sense because you don't call someone to order a pay-per-view. You haven't done that in 20 fucking years. And yes, you have an HD TV. We spent a whole episode with you getting that flat screen. Yeah. And, like, there's so many problems I have with it, but the idea of, and how sheepish he is about it. Well, I wanted the operator to think I was a big shot.
The operator who answers thousands of phone calls a day.
Insane.
Forgets everyone they ever talk to.
God damn it, that joke is so funny.
Yeah.
And that Bart on behalf of Lisa bit was very funny.
Yeah.
Like, since
that was good. Hey, how you doing? And the quick brushing the hair back.
He's so businesslike.
Yeah.
Hey, how you doing?
Like he gets hired to do this.
Yeah, exactly. And like, Dad, I've accepted that you don't listen to women. Oh, I love you, honey.
Basically, anything with Elaine or the dog sucked.
Yeah.
Everything else is good, fine, but 80% of the episode was with the dog or Elaine.
That was a tough episode. Like, I don't care for the dog at all. So any dog-centric episode I haven't liked.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if maybe there's one or two that I didn't mind, but usually I'm like, that dog sucks so hard.
I didn't mind the one where he like runs away and becomes one of Burns' hounds.
Yeah,
if you remember
that's
that.
a pretty solid one.
Because we get a lot of Burns in that one.
Yeah. Well, that was season 31. Let's see what season 32 holds for us. This season is unique because it was the one that was produced during the COVID pandemic.
Panic.
The panic, yep. Which crippled television except for animated shows. James L. Brooks, I think he's one of the executive producers.
That sounds right.
He told the staff to start staying at home as soon as COVID was even mentioned. He's like, they were doing it way before the lockdown even.
Good.
He's like, yeah, just stay home. We don't need you here. Everything you can do from home. Al Jean? He's been the showrunner for years now. He was, they asked him in like late March. He's like, production hasn't changed at all.
Because why would it?
Yeah,
Probably.
that's fascinating. Every other show had to stop.
Yeah.
You know, like there was like, oh, what are we going to do? Like, there's going to be no entertainment after a while. So they were making at that point 7 episodes for the season when COVID had hit. They'd already got the Treehouse of Horror done. Then they just fucking they took a couple day break. It's like, and they realized we don't have to. We can just do this. Like,
yeah.
But it would be weird, like the whole world shut down and just like, is it cool if we don't? It's like everyone can do their shit from fucking home.
Yeah. I mean, we all remember those times of like, are we still going to do the thing we were going to do next week? Like,
and they did 22 episodes. You'll notice season 32 is a full season.
Yeah.
Another big thing that happened. This is a few months later. After the whole George Floyd thing, The Simpsons, they came out and said, moving forward, there will no longer be any white actors voicing non-white characters. And the at the same time, the guy that did Cleveland on Family Guy, he was a white guy. He's like, yeah, I'm not doing that anymore. Like,
Oh, I didn't know he was a white guy.
And I think there's a whole run of them. Like Jenny Slate and Kristen Bell wouldn't do non-white characters on Big Mouth and Central Park. Hank Azaria had already stopped, not just months prior, he'd already stopped doing the voice of Apu. Harry Shearer, who does a million voices, he was the only one that had like a dissent. He was like kind of bristled at it. He's like, the job of an actor is to play someone who they're not. But I think he only had one non-white character, and it was a pretty minor one, if I remember correctly.
You got to kind of read the room a little, Harry.
Yeah, like, is that the fight you want?
Yeah, is that the hill to die on, Harry Shearer?
Harry Shearer was the voice of Dr. Hibbert.
Oh, okay.
Then, I think another dude Kevin Michael Richardson, who had already been on the show for like over a decade doing minor characters, they just handed over the reins of.
Yeah, he's the one who he's the one who plays I forget the character's name, but on Family Guy, the big black guy who owns the Clam, who owns the bar that they all hang
really?
out
Yeah,
at.
yeah.
That's him.
Yeah, kind of a distinctive
And he's
voice.
got a real good, deep guy.
Yeah, growly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's got a good, deep voice. But he's been showing up on The Simpsons for a while now.
Yeah. He'll often be like the voice of a character off screen. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Fuck, we're so close to modern. We were about to record this podcast when this season 1 started, Like
We recorded our first episode of this show about a month after that Santa's Little Helper episode.
Interesting.
That was the middle of May 2020. We started in June 2020.
That's wild. So our show's older than this.
Yeah.
That's crazy to think of.
So if we were to go back to our classic format when we're switching seasons, so what are you up to at this time, Nathan?
Recording a podcast.
Well, I just started a podcast that you're listening to now. Those are weird times, my man.
So when this would have aired, it'd have been in the fall. I would have still been back home. COVID it wouldn't have hit its peak yet, but I was just talking about this with someone last night. It was weird because we all oh shit, everything's shutting down. And then for like 4 to 5 months, no one had COVID in the Midwest.
Yeah.
They'd have the numbers on the news every day. North Dakota has 4 cases.
Yeah.
And that number just never changed much. Little spike here and there. It's like, fuck, is it gonna really happen? Then it picked up a little bit.
Then it fucking changed.
It was right before Christmas, Thanksgiving, Christmas is when it blew. There was a moment where like Western Minnesota, North Dakota, and South Dakota were the hottest, hot points for COVID on planet Earth.
Yeah.
Worse than India and Brazil.
For a stretch.
Yeah.
For a while. I remember hearing stories of we lost 70% of the old folks home last week.
Yeah, my hometown had that happen. And I remember at the time I was working online and I had coworkers who lived on the coasts where they were super anal about everything, no group activities.
Super anal.
Super
is
anal.
A good Google search.
They like to party. And I remember do you know anyone that has COVID? I'm like, I struggle to think of a family member that doesn't have COVID right now.
Right. Yeah.
Everyone I know back home has COVID. Half my friends here do. Everyone's got COVID.
Yeah.
Just shaking it off. No one can smell or taste anything. It's real wild.
But we don't use much flavor in our food up here anyway. No one's the worse for wear. I was this season started in September. I was still working at the radio station, which never did. The radio station never stopped because you're a news radio. How do you you can't not
just be off the air,
right?
Yeah.
You can't. What are you gonna just fucking broadcast a fucking snow?
Yeah.
You gotta, And there was also a TV station in that same building. They never stopped either. No one stopped.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So when were you officially done there? Late?
It would be the week of Thanksgiving 2020.
Oh, so when COVID was spiking
was
hard.
really getting hot.
Yeah, good time to get out of there.
Yeah, good time to retire.
Yeah.
To be strictly unemployed.
Yeah. Living that unemployment life.
But yeah, in these days, if you're going back and listening, I'm recording our show in the fucking radio studio.
Yeah, it's wild.
That's why I
to think of.
sound real good in those very early episodes.
Listen to that golden
I'm
voice.
running on fucking primo technology. Well, I'm running on good technology and walls with sound dampening all over them.
Oh yeah, get him actually in the studio.
Yeah, I recorded in the studio.
So, spoiler alert, you're not going to be blown away by any of the random shows I mentioned, but there was one thing that debuted this year and this fall was a show called The Great North. Are you familiar?
Oh, it's an animated show with Nick Offerman.
Yep.
I've heard that's good.
Created by the guy that made Bob's Burgers, and it must be doing okay because not only is it on this year, but it's already been greenlit for 23-24.
Oh, okay.
Which is a sign of supreme confidence because they rarely do that with shows unless they're hits.
That show looks exactly like Bob's Burgers. It's the same animation style, which
same
throws me
that
off.
makes sense. Yep.
Yeah, you see that in like, oh, we gave this person another show. Fucking Futurama looks like The Simpsons. You know, everyone's like Fry looks like he's a Simpson, except he's not yellow. You know. Or same with Great North and Bob's Burgers, or Rick and Morty and Solar Opposites. Yeah, I like Solar Opposites a lot.
Oh, what's the premise of it?
A family of aliens crash landed on Earth, and now they're like it's kind of fish out of water, but also they're trying to get off of Earth because they hate it, but they don't hate it that badly.
Interesting.
You know? Like one really loves it and is a piece of garbage, and
that's a Hulu joint.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
I'm curious what its future is going to be because that's a Justin Roiland show, and he had a bad week this week.
He got all sorts of trouble.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if he's paying attention. The Adult Swim said that Rick and Morty's going to keep going, but it sounds
without him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds like he wasn't doing much other than the voices.
Oh,
at
interesting.
this point.
Oh, no shit. Okay.
Sound like creatively he didn't have a ton to do with Rick and Morty.
Yeah. Another show debuted, another animated show about a bunch of dogs called Housebroken. Get it? They're dogs. It's Housebroken.
Okay.
That debuted in 2020. Still on the air as well because it was fucking 36 months ago.
Is that Fox?
Yep. But you know, that's not true. Fucking shows die. A vast majority of shows don't make it past season 1.
Yeah.
So good for the people at House. I guess Lisa Kudrow is behind it. Who isn't Lisa Kudrow also a part of Beverly Hills Chihuahua? So she knows her way around talking dogs.
You could tell me anything about Beverly Hills Chihuahua.
That you need to watch it tonight?
No, I will not watch it tonight.
You got a problem with glamour pets? You don't want a teacup poodle? You know?
No, I don't want a fucking teacup. I don't want a teacup anything unless it's a teacup. Like I would take a teacup.
Delicious.
I love tea. It's delicious. I have some wonderful peppermint decaf tea.
Ooh.
Oof.
Treat yourself.
I do.
The only other show that debuted with The Simpsons that fall, 3 new shows, which at this point is getting to be a lot. A show called Cherry's Wild. For the last fucking quarter of a century, nearly, Fox has been trying to get a hit primetime game show. They can't find it. This show, Cherry's Wild, sponsored by Wild Cherry Pepsi. Can you imagine anything more white trash than that? Hosted by Jason Biggs. Good for Jason Biggs to get a paycheck.
Man?
Yep. He has made many a movie that he doesn't fuck pies in.
Also, at this point, he's just coming off of Orange is the New Black. So he's, his name is back in the published conscience.
I bet the bond that Sean William Scott, Jason Biggs share. Because one of them goes, hey, Stifler, I'm 48 years old. I'm not Stifler anymore. Hey, pie fucker, I have never truly fucked a pie.
Isn't that in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back where they don't know his name? They're just like, pie fucker.
Really?
I think that's
Good.
in Jay and Bob Strike Back. So I think he's playing Silent Bob in the movie
You're right.
they're trying to stop.
You're
from being made.
totally right.
Yeah.
Yep.
James Vanderbeek is playing Jay.
Which shows he has a good sense of humor about it.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah. What is the game show? What's the premise of the game show?
From the little I looked into it, there's a big fucking slot machine, And like you have to answer questions to get a certain amount of things to help your odds of winning on the slot machine. And Cherry's Wild. Cherry's sponsored by Wild Cherry Pepsi. Taste of a new generation or whatever the fuck their
I
catchphrase
like Cherry
is.
Pepsi.
Yeah.
I got no beef with Cherry Pepsi,
And
but
it's just, yeah. There's some skill, but it's 30% skill, 70% luck, 100% shit. They made 6 episodes. Mercifully, that's it.
that's a lost verse from that Fort Minor song.
Holy shit, a Fort Minor reference.
Fuck yeah, that record's good. That Fort Minor record is good.
Going off the air, so this is the first time in a long time Modern Family hasn't been on the air.
Never seen an episode.
It's funny. I was just like 3 days ago, I was back home and I was like, I'm going to eat lunch. I'll throw something on the TV for some background noise. And I clicked on the wrong thing and I clicked on Modern Family. I was like, fuck, I forgot how enjoyable this show is.
Is it good?
Yeah, perfect. I'm a big Ed O'Neill stan.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's well written, way better than your average sitcom. So yeah,
Okay.
it's a good show. And the one that I want to point out, a show by the name of Criminal Minds, went off the air this fall.
Mandy Patinkin.
Perhaps there's plenty to catch up on because there's 16 fucking seasons of it.
Jeez.
16 seasons of a show I didn't know existed. That's so crazy. It used to be if a show ran for over 10 years, the country shut down to watch the last episode. Like, fucking, you gathered your family to watch the last episode of MASH or fucking Cheers. A show like this goes off the air, they don't have a fucking blip on the radar.
Criminal Minds was on for a third of your life.
Think of that. That's not even an exaggeration.
No.
That's more than a third of my life. 40% of my consciousness, half of my legit form brain. Like, what an insane thing. My God. It just no effect on the culture at large. You know what I mean? Like, Cheers, fucking everyone knows Cheers if you were alive.
Everybody knows your name.
Yeah, right? Everyone knows Seinfeld, at least knows of it.
Yeah.
Couldn't tell you one fucking thing. I guess they solve crimes for fucking something.
On Seinfeld?
No, on fucking Criminal
okay.
Minds. Like, I'm sure there's some kind of science and they fucking put jizz up against a fucking lamp. Oh, look at that.
I've been there.
It's got fucking cigarette ashes in it. It's Dennis. He can't wait to light up a heater after he blasts. We're going to catch you, Dennis. This guy kind of seems like a shitty criminal. We should have caught him by now.
I'm trying to think if Criminal Minds is the Mandy Patinkin one or if it's who's the guy who voices Fat Tony, because he's on one of those.
Oh, Montoya or no,
Joe Montana.
Montana.
Joe Montana. Yeah.
Joe Montana.
So,
Joe Montana.
yeah.
Four Super Bowl wins.
Hung up the cleats and started on this show.
Good for him.
Yeah, maybe that's the one. I'm not going to look it up because I don't care enough, but it's not the one with Ice-T on it. So
No, that's NBC. That's
SVU.
SVU. There we go.
And Chris Maloney. It's not the one with Chris Maloney on
Chris Maloney, the all-night pony.
Is that what you call him personally?
On the chat boards. Yes. The I Heart Chris Maloney chat boards.
I like him. He's a good Twitter follow.
Yeah, and he's a guy that will, for being in such a gritty, serious show, will happily take ridiculous comedy roles.
Yeah.
Like, we'll play complete fucking clowns, you know?
I heard he was good. I heard Happy was good. I never watched
Forgot about that
but
show.
I heard it was good.
Yeah.
Where he's a guy and then he sees he hallucinates a cartoon unicorn
Yeah.
who helps him solve crime or something.
So that show has to be fucking insane.
Yeah. The unicorn's voiced by Patton Oswalt.
Yeah. I knew Patton Oswalt was involved. I was like, yeah, he must be a voice because I don't think you see him in that show. So, yeah, that's where we're at. Season 32 is on our laps.
Ugh.
Writhing.
Writhing?
Are you willing to embrace as it presses against you?
Do I have a choice?
Nope, it's very assertive.
I don't.
It is gripping the armrests of your chair very thoroughly.
Get your hands off me, Season 32.
Shut up, you like
Season
it.
32, no. Season 32, not
Just
like
be
this.
cool. Just be cool.
Not like this.
Have another drink.
Help.
This all coming from your apartment.
My neighbors don't know we have a podcast. My neighbors are just like, they're always yelling.
They yell and
and singing.
they giggle like children. So much giggling for grown men.
It's okay because I don't feel bad at all because one of those assholes has kids that run up and down the goddamn halls at all hours of the
Oh,
night.
really?
And then this one over here's got a goddamn dog that barks all day.
Jesus Christ. This ain't no way to live.
That dog's easily got to be. The dog has to be smaller than my cat, judging by its voice.
High pitch. Yeah.
For fucking 18 hours at a time.
No shit.
Oh my god.
Huh, I've never known. I guess I've never been here for it. But
Yeah, you haven't been
to
here
experience.
for one of them,
Used to be someone here would have house parties. Would have a very good playlist picked often.
yeah, somebody right above me has pretty good music taste.
Yeah, which if you're gonna hear music, at least if it's something good.
Yeah, I remember one of the first times I noticed it because they haven't been here. They moved in when I was already here,
Okay.
and I noticed at some point like, oh great, this fucking new neighbor apparently, and I can hear his fucking Queens of the Stone Age. Okay,
for
yeah.
you.
All right,
Yeah.
okay. Into ZZ Top. Okay.
Listen to this.
All right.
And the good shit, the pre-synthesizer shit.
Yeah, like those first three are some Tres Hombres shit. Good, okay, all right, Mississippi Mud, let's do it.
Sunglasses weren't too weird.
Yeah, I've got no beef with that guy. But then there's somebody on this side who plays fucking techno music super fucking loud at,
All ready for
at
this?
3:45
Really?
in the morning.
What the hell? Working out or partying?
No, who fucking knows?
Time to swing over. Should I wear my dress clothes or my workout clothes?
I'm just going to put on Oh Yeah by Yellow and have a battle with him. Dun-dun, 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 dun-dun. Episode 1 of season 32, because I guess we got to fucking deal with season 32. Let's do it. We can't
Fuck yeah.
fight it. Undercover Burns. Immediately. Good start.
Yep.
Good start. Start with a Burns episode. It is Take Your Kids to Work Day at the plant. Lenny doesn't have kids, but he hired some. He wanted to bring children, so he hired children
So good.
to come be at Bring Your Kids to Work
Yeah.
Day. And I forget how Burns gets up there to give a speech, and I forget how he gets rid of the parents, but he's like, okay, now I'm just talking to the kids, and the sign flips, and it is Put Your Kids to Work Day. And all of the kids are like kidnapped and ushered into the power plant.
Yeah.
He's like, there's over 3,000 crevices in this leaky power plant that only your tiny hands can get to. They're all swept up in this except Lisa. Lisa escapes and confronts Mr. Burns, who's terrified of Lisa, and goes running and hides in the bathroom.
So good.
Lisa's like, he's like, oh, she'll never find me in here, as he's sitting on the toilet with his feet on the bowl. And she comes in, and he's terrified. And she comes walking through the bathroom being like, oh, Mr. Burns. Like, she's got the drop on him. And then it hits her. Wait, this is the men's room. Oh, God.
Is that a tuna salad sandwich?
Sitting on the sink. Gross.
Setting a sandwich down in a public restroom is a power move. Like, I wouldn't fuck with that guy.
Guy holding a sandwich, takes a big bite out of it, sets it on
Washes
the edge of the
his
sink,
hands.
then goes and pisses, comes back, washes his hands, still chewing, and then picks the sandwich up and leaves.
Incredible.
Holy shit. I'd be like, I'm following this guy. Found my Christ. So Lisa then leaves because she's all grossed out by the bathroom. And then Burns, again, because he's so thin, like comes sliding into the stall. Like he can get between the gap between the stall wall and the back brick wall. Like where the backs of the toilets are, he's able to move from one stall to the next. Oh my God. And he's like, ooh, cave drawings. And he's looking at all the bathroom graffiti and sees that they all hate him. Yeah. There is so much anti-Burns graffiti in that men's room. And he's like, this leads to one of my favorite Mr. Burns things, which is, for some reason, Mr. Burns wants people to like him. This is one of my favorite reoccurring Burns tropes.
Disconnect. That he thinks that he's upset. Why wouldn't they hate you?
He is so ruthless and so heartless, and then is like, oh, he's hurt that people don't like him. It's not the first time we've touched on it, and I love it every time. And he's like, well, certainly the women's room must be better. And he opens the door, and there's an effigy of him that it has been lynched and is on fire. And he just goes,
oh my God, yeah.
He just goes, oh, effigies can be burned? Like the number one thing people do with effigies. He's so taken aback. Oh, effigies can be burned.
God, that's good writing.
Holy shit. So he's talking to Smithers. How are we going to rectify this? And Smithers, of course, brings up, like, you could treat him right. And Burns, no, we got to, come on, fuck that.
Get serious here.
What they decide to do is they're going to do Undercover Boss. And we've recruited the lady who made the fake masks for Mission Impossible 2, which is an insane reference.
Yeah. It is.
And those masks are the reason that movie sucks, because every time they need a twist, someone takes a mask off.
Oh, really?
That movie sucks so bad.
I've never seen it. I just know that's a part of it.
It's such a bummer. Like, John Woo, you're better than this. But it has that great Metallica song, a great Limp Bizkit song. It has the John Woo Doves, and it has the jump off motorcycles at each other scene that was in the trailer, so you don't need to watch the movie. That's all of Mission Impossible 2. Mission Impossible 3, then, very good. And from there, those are good
pretty
movies.
Good, I think, yeah.
So we got that mask lady. We got the guy with the voice modulator, and we got a guy who makes like a robot suit. And for the rest of this episode, Burns is essentially Iron Man. Except he is Fred Kranepool.
The fucking technology that goes into this suit is so insane.
It's so awesome.
Yeah.
And they do the exact Iron Man thing where when we see Burns, he's just like a floating face with all this digitized UI in front of him. The suit even like opens up and he steps in and out of it. Yeah. And the mask he can pull on and off. And he is Fred Kranepool, this big, burly, mustachioed man, voiced by David Harbour.
Okay.
It even kind of looks like David Harbour.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
I like David Harbour. Yep. I hear Violent Night is super good.
Yep, like critics even like it. Yep.
I haven't seen it, but I hear it's good. He like tries to ingratiate himself with the guys, and they're having lunch together, and then the hounds are released to signify that lunchtime is over, leading you to believe that happens every day. And so it's Lenny, Carl, and Homer and Fred go running from the hounds, and they finally get behind some doors and lock them so they're away from the hounds. And Fred... I love Fred speaking exactly like Burns, but in David Harbour's voice. Yeah. So, it's terrible to be on the other side of that, you know? And he's so shook by it that he gives each of them a buffalo nickel for their troubles. He goes to Moe's with them and sits at the bar, and when Moe slides that beer down the bar and it thumps him in the chest and he goes falling off the goddamn bar stool.
There's a great gag in here where Barney walks in and they're like, hey, sorry, Barney, your seat's gone. And he's fucking kind of busted up about that. It's like, hey, this is a chance for you to try out that new drive-through window. If you notice, he's driving the King Plow truck.
Yes, he is.
And he gets 8 fucking tap beer mugs to go, and heavy clanking mugs get handed through that window. Guys, you're trying to keep that balance on a bench seat.
You're spilling that beer everywhere. Yep.
And he's really happy about this. He's okay with not sitting in Moe's.
He's like, when Mo goes, "Oh, sorry, Barney, your stool's taken."
Yeah.
"Oh, you miss your daily bender one time." Oh my God. So Fred is friends with the guys now. Fred is friends with the guys now. They're all buddies. They sing karaoke together.
That song he sings is so ridiculous.
Sings some fucking insane oldie song that no one's ever heard
What, a
of.
Spaniard?
Yeah, the Spaniard who ruined my life or something like that. And the guys know the words.
Yeah, they're loving it.
Ridiculous. He's talking to Smithers, and Smithers not liking this because he's not getting much Burns time, you know?
Yeah.
And at one point, Burns says, "They're my friends. I've had frenemies, but never friends. I've had frenemies, but they were French enemies." And he pans up to a photo of him and the Eiffel Tower and two mean-mugging Frenchmen, and they're the winemakers that were putting antifreeze in from season like 2.
Yeah. Season 1, I think.
I immediately paused and I was like, "Yeah, that's the French antifreeze guys."
I knew there had to be something there, but that didn't even cross my mind.
Yeah, I've had frenemies, but those were French enemies. Yeah. Smithers agitated again. He's not into how little Burns time he's getting. And the guys have Fred. They're like, "Hey, you." He tells off Smithers. Fred, quote unquote, Fred does tells Smithers off, gets rid of him, and they're like, "Oh my God, you stick up to anybody.
Yeah.
You should go ask Burns for us to get some benefits." So he goes into his own office and has an argument with himself. He's like taking the mask on and off because they're listening outside, so he can hear two different voices. And now the plant has a ton of fucking benefits now.
Living the dream.
Yeah, there's segways to get to the parking lot, and then you just throw them away apparently when you're done. There's all these food carts. There's food booths, and it's unrecognizable as the power plant.
I don't know if it's during that argument, but if not, it's coming up soon, where Burns, as Fred, says, like, very angrily, "I will box your ears the next time you speak to me with such insolence." Such a good line for Fred to say.
He says it to Smithers when he tells him off.
Oh, okay, yeah, because Smithers is like, "Hey, what are you doing?" But he's addicted to having friends. You're right. Yeah.
All the while in this fucking robot suit, and the cutting back to the Iron Man inside the helmet camera is so funny to me. Smithers pulls Homer aside and shows him what's up, like, because Smithers has had enough of this shit.
Yeah.
A, he wants Burns back. B, the power plant is going fucking bankrupt with all of these benefits that they're getting. And not long after this, Homer like doesn't want anybody to find out because, like, we're good friends, we get great benefits and shit. Lenny and Carl start talking shit about Mr. Burns, and immediately Burns not having it.
Yeah, he can't hold it in.
Yeah, he can't pretend to be Fred and get shit talking straight to his face.
I think it's right around this time when I think they might be in line for lunch. And when Homer goes up to talk to him, "Hey, Fred, ahoy, ahoy."
Yeah, he says ahoy, ahoy.
So good.
God damn it. That's a hard thing to capture in a recap. But yes, like, it's David Harbour's voice speaking in the cadence that Mr. Burns uses. It's very good. It's very fun. So Burns comes partway out of his suit. The fucking arm gets ripped off. And then I'm not sure if this is meant to be literal or if this is in Burns's mind, but the suit kind of comes to life and fights him. Like, "No, there's only Fred now, and no, there's it's me, it's Mr. Burns." Yeah. Homer comes bursting in to find Burns just laying under this robot that fell on him. And then Homer picks it up, throws it in the fucking acid pool that they're on. And then, like, gives an impassioned speech about how, like, no, we can't have things. We just have to have the boss. And the boss gets better things than we do. And that's just how it is. And so Burns is back.
Takes away everything of good.
Yep, takes away all the benefits he had given him. And Burns is back.
Fucking really good episode.
Hell yeah, it is.
Yeah,
God
I
damn
was
it.
laughing pretty good.
Burns is so good, man. More Mr. Burns. I hope they're learning their lesson.
Yeah.
And we will be getting more Burns.
Ahoy, ahoy.
Ahoy, hoy.
Here, please, a buffalo nickel for each of you.
Oh, my gosh.
Such a weird thing for your coworker who's roughly your age
Yeah,
to do.
give you all a buffalo nickel.
Oh, God, the Burns was good in this.
And yeah, like the Burnsisms coming through David Harbour. They're like, unhand me. Like, so good.
Or there's a great scene where I think maybe it's like in a montage or something, but it's him at Moe's. I don't even think the gang is there, and he's just eating all of the fucking pickled eggs.
Yeah.
And you notice they're just filling up the head. So
Yeah.
it's like Burns is like nose deep. These are pretty interesting eggs. Where are they from? He's like, oh, I don't know, cat or something. Fucking cat eggs. Is that what he says? I think it's
Horse.
Horse.
Yeah.
It was a mammal. I knew.
Yeah, it was.
I don't know, horse or something. Holy, yeah, this was.
Yeah,
a
that's.
good
I forget
episode.
what the joke is, but they cut to Phil Rosenthal doing a Drinks with Phil show
yeah.
where he visits bars, and it's at Moe's.
Yeah,
I don't know who Phil Rosenthal is.
nor do I. I was confused by that.
He does like travel documentaries.
Oh, okay. But yeah, very, very good episode.
Yeah, that was a good one. Mr. Burns, baby.
Yeah,
Just give me a Mr. Burns spinoff.
yeah. Holy shit.
Give me a workplace comedy, but Mr. Burns.
Yeah, just The Office, but not featuring whatever department that Homer, Lenny, and Carl are in.
Yeah, totally.
They make appearances occasionally, but they're
Yep.
not the main crux of it.
Like that's
It's
money.
It's Burns and Smithers and a smattering of new characters. Mm-hmm. Yep, that's fucking solid gold.
yeah. Let's see him fucking tear down the HR department. He
Yeah.
tears down the workers all the time.
Yeah.
Let's see everybody else.
And let's see how episode 2 treats us, titled "I Columbus." That's fun.
That's good. That's good titling.
Episode begins with the Simpsons visiting the museum. I think there's an exhibit about ancient Rome.
Yeah.
And
Ancient history do anything for you?
I don't dislike it. Like, I'd rather learn about that than like fucking trigonometry.
Sure.
Yeah, but yeah, it get old enough. It just doesn't do a whole lot for me.
Oh, see, I think the super old stuff, ancient history, is so much more fun.
All of them were 5 foot tall, malnourished, drinking piss water with brains the size of walnuts. The smartest man in the year 300 BC would be the dumbest person you've ever met.
It's Homer Simpson.
Yeah. Like today's Homer would rule that country.
I like ancient history because every new thing is like the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Like and every new, oh my God, we put a flamethrower on a boat and it fucking changed the course of human history, you know?
I find it fascinating, like the fact that like after the fall of the Roman Empire, like the quality of life took like a few hundred years, give or take, to get back to that.
To recover, yeah.
It's so wild to think about.
Yeah.
Like your great grandparents might have had a toilet in their house, but you didn't.
Yeah.
You know, you shat in the woods.
We'll get back to that. We're getting there.
Yeah. Yeah, no shit, Jesus.
We are the Roman Empire.
Speaking of foreshadowing.
The thrilling final season of America. I prefer ancient Greek history to ancient Roman history.
Butt fucking?
Yeah, I like the butt fucking.
Them boys.
I just find it more, like it's not just opulence.
Yeah,
You Roman history rings a little familiar.
Yeah. Yeah, no shit.
Living like we do, so. But just little things that change everything.
Yeah.
Like-
and it's kind of fascinating.
Like, oh my God, the people of the Western Asian steppe figured out how to ride a horse.
Now we're
now
fucked.
we're all fucked.
Yeah, the angry muscle monsters have people on top of them now.
And then for centuries, we were fucked.
Yeah. Until we figured out how to ride the muscle monsters.
The idea of like someone would find a bow on a battlefield and then it would take them and all of their buddies 30 years to figure out how to work the goddamn thing.
Or just finally not drinking the lake with the human poo-poo in it. So you start living past the age of 22.
I mean, we were still doing that. We didn't learn that lesson until well
100 years
into the
ago.
fucking 1900s. Yeah.
You can't be drinking the poo-poo. That's a
Maybe
rule.
we don't put the well by the poo-poo pit.
So Marge overhears Homer mention that there was a thing at work for a manager's training, some kind of thing like that. And Marge is like, what? He's like, yeah, it's just something about increasing where you like. It's like, oh, that's what I want, Marge. I want to have to wear long sleeve shirts.
Like, then I'd have to wear long sleeves and go to webinars and preside over all these idiot entry levels with their stupid short sleeves. Homer sucks so bad.
Oh my God. So there's a curator character. I don't know if he's voiced by anyone.
Hell yeah, he is.
Is he?
Michael Palin.
Oh, really? Okay.
Of Monty Python.
Okay. I figured it had to be somebody. The curator overhears their argument, begins to relay the tale of Obesius the Wide.
Yep.
And the son, turns out he's fucking ripped. It's basically young, ripped Homer with long brown hair.
It's fucking ripped.
Yeah.
He is
pro wrestler
a
ripped.
beefcake.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't afford a plow or an ox. So he was the ox pulling the plow.
So his dad, Abus, made him work as as the ox. I don't know how old he's supposed to be. I assume pretty young, teens, 20s. Grandpa Abus walks out there and tells him the good news. Thanks to all of Homer's hard work, they can finally afford an ox. So what that means is Grandpa has sold him into slavery. Unbelievable.
That's such a good turn.
And who are the other slaves? It's Moe, Barney,
Lenny and Carl.
Yep.
And
that might be it.
at one point we see Slave Gil, but I think the core group is those.
Yeah, Moe was going to gift Slave Gil as a wedding gift.
Yeah.
So they had never seen Rome before, so like as simple-minded country boys, they're baffled by all the sights and smells of a big city. Turns out they're now owned by a Roman slave master, Gordus Antonius.
Yeah.
It's voiced by Fat Tony. It's Fat Tony.
It's Fat Tony.
Puts Obesius in the gladiator ring. We get some very good visual gags of Obesius' actions, like when he's fighting. He's basically fighting Rainier Wolfcastle.
Yeah, who is like the Kent Brockman is the like announcer for the arena. He's like doing the in this corner thing.
Yeah.
And he even says something along the lines of the Germanic barbarian, and because Rainier Wolfcastle is
Coming from
Austrian.
all the way, I think it says coming all the way from Germania.
Yeah. And the Romans were at odds with the Germanic people the whole time.
And with Homer, and this guy in the other corner, we don't know where he's from. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Obesius. And Obesius not a fighter, but goddamn if he ain't a plow horse. So he fucking spears him and drags him around. And like dragging him in rows as if they're going to put crop in. As if he's using Rainier's face as a plow.
Plowshare. Yep.
And he finally, like, the adrenaline wears off. He's like catching his breath. Hey, how about we call it a tie? And he picks him up. His face is gone.
It's down to the skull.
Yeah. So he has killed Rainier Wolfcastle.
And there's blood in all of the rows that he plowed. Perfectly straight lines. Good plow work.
And Marge, I think her name is Marjora, is very intrigued by this young man. And she stops by and seduces him. Like he's just like in the slave hut down in the guts of the fucking Colosseum.
Yep, under the Colosseum.
And they didn't wrap up, and she gets pregnant.
Boy, Roman condoms had to have been terrible.
If they existed, I bet they were literal sheep guts.
Yeah. That's what the Egyptians were using. Sheep bladders.
Fat Tony is very peeved by this. He wants to know who it was out there that impregnated his daughter. Obesius comes forward and is freed from slavery, so he can marry Marjora, give birth. I didn't realize they were twins. They were born at the same time. It's Bartigula and Lysandra.
Yeah.
I
'cause
must have missed.
We do a
yeah.
10-year time skip
Yep.
to get
Now-
up to where we're at.
And you're right, because now Odysseus looks like Homer.
Yeah.
He's bald and fat. Because we find out that he has gotten into the laundry business, which we find out is they use ammonia, and they had to source that ammonia through piss.
Which is historic.
I was just going to say, just the way they worded it sounded like, okay, this isn't being played as a joke. It's meant to be real.
Yep. You cleaned with piss.
Great. And now Odysseus is Homer in more ways than one. He's
Yeah.
not doing a good job with running this place, and Marge just kind of getting fed up with his incompetence. Marge kind of like, hey, you got to get your act together. And then is it Mo or Carl? Or maybe both?
It's his slaves. It's
Yeah.
the buddies, I don't remember specifically which.
Because they basically, what it's implied is they're doing all the pissing. So they have a limited amount of money to work from. And one says, hey, how about we set these trough things, these giant vases outside of the taverns, and people can piss in them. And like, you know what? You're on to something. And
Free piss.
yeah, all the free piss a man can want.
Who doesn't want a giant clay jug of free piss?
Oh, yeah, a clay container with no
Fucking
cap.
kill for free piss.
Odysseus now becomes wealthy, and they move to the fucking fancy side of town, and we get I usually am not a fan of any music in this show. We get they're doing the Jeffersons theme in Latin.
So good.
God, that was a good gig.
Yeah, that was very funny. Also, this whole time, Homer continues to not set his buddies free.
Yeah. Oh, you're right. That's
Which
a good
is
recurring gig.
which is what he said he would do. If one of us gets free, we'll free the others.
Yeah.
And he keeps putting it off.
And those guys at the beginning offered their own lives.
Yep.
When Fat Tony was asking who knocked up Marge.
Yeah. And Marge, it starts with Marge, getting in his ear, don't free him yet, wait till we get on our feet, And then here he doesn't again, just takes their idea and gets rich off it and continues to not free them.
And it's at this time Marge is becoming more right, because, okay, I want you to get a better job. You need to do a better job running this piss stand. And that's all acceptable things to ask. Now she's like, hey, why aren't you in the Senate? What the fuck? He is a morbidly overweight piss merchant. Which I think basically they LOL no when he asks.
Yeah. Oh, the piss guy?
Yep.
Yeah.
Odysseus asks Emperor Quimbus, played by Mayor Quimby, to put him in the Senate, but he refuses because, again, no, I don't want to fuck with you. It's during this time, fucking Mr. Burns shows up, and he is the politically adopted son of Emperor Quimby. So it makes no goddamn sense. He's 80 years older than him. I think it's Senator Montimus is his name. And he tells Odysseus, I'll give you a position in the Senate if you assassinate Emperor Quimbus.
I have to interrupt at this point. I'm sorry, but
go right ahead.
I just remembered this because we're talking about Mr. Burns. In that last episode, when they get Burns into the suit for the first time and they do the RoboCop perspective, when he's looking out, they said, you look like a man half your age. And if it's blink and you miss it, he kind of half under his breath goes, 74?
I didn't catch that. That's good.
Mr. Burns is 148 years old. Okay.
I didn't catch that at all.
Sorry.
That's good.
I remember laughing real hard and apparently not noting it because it just bubbled up back into my brain. 74? Oh, Burns.
So Burns has planted this seed in Odysseus' head, and Odysseus is not a violent man, but he pressure from Marge. So I think he hides in the shadows when Quimby is using the vomitorium. He's drunk and full of food.
This is my vomitorium, and I'm full of hot figs.
It like grabs his stomach.
Hot figs.
What a choice.
Oh, I love a fig. I love a fig. I love a date, but hot.
Those are boiling, those bad boys.
Why? Why are the figs hot?
So reluctantly or not, Homer does cheese Quimby, and Montimus crowns himself emperor and appoints Obesius to Senate. So Obesius now is a senator, which I'm sure led to a very comfortable life in ancient Rome. He's rich and powerful and fucking fat.
Enormous.
He's fatter than Moo, where he gets so fat he gets disabled.
I was just about to say the exact same thing.
My note was, we haven't seen super fat Homer in a minute.
Yeah, he's huge.
Yeah.
But
so fat his ears are enveloped with fat.
Yeah, they're sunken in a little. And then there's something about the back of his neck, the way he's drawn. Like, Jesus, Homer.
So they have a lot of wealth and power, but goddammit, Marjora wants more and goads her son, fucking Bartigula, into assassinating Emperor Montimus so he can claim the throne, which fucking Homer is completely baffled by, because I think maybe she floated the idea to him.
Yeah.
And he's like, what are you talking about?
How much more do you need?
Yeah, like, I'm already a senator. Like, I'm clearly doing well. Christ, I weigh 900 pounds. So fucking Bart becomes emperor. I'm changing in so many different ways.
My body. New hairs and smells. Did you get all squeaky during the change?
I don't remember it.
Neither do I.
I don't think so. I got a pretty light brush with the old puberty. The light stroke with the puberty brush.
At 29.
Yeah. Some kids fucking Kafka-esque metamorphosis show up a foot taller over the summer. Fucking 4 pounds of Adam's apple, like swinging like a clock pendulum. I don't know what's happening.
Guys, it's me.
Yeah, it's like fucking Jeff Goldblum in The Fly. Oh, what's going on right now? I don't feel so hot. Yeah, you don't look good either, bro.
Everything hurts every day.
You can hear a kid's beard growing in, like just sitting in math class. Stings. Fucking boner just bursting through their sweatpants.
Oh no, my sweatpants. My mom's gonna be so
I'm
mad.
gonna keep ruining my sweats. Why's the bus so bumpy? Gonna replace the shocks on this bus. Gonna break my family. So Bart is now in charge. His first order of business, he declares war on Neptune. But not the planet, the sea god.
Yeah.
It's just a bunch of fucking Roman soldiers like fighting fish with shields and swords, and then a giant wave kills. I think there's a narration about how thousands of men died.
Yeah, the curator, Michael Palin,
yep.
is telling you, and he says, after a few early victories, thousands were killed.
He starts to build a massive wall across Rome, kills the entire Senate by dousing them with acid. You get a lot of Trump fucking...
A lot of good Trump jokes.
Yep.
My favorite comes just a bit earlier. So, like, Marge tries to poison Burns, but Smithers tastes the poison for him and dies.
Yeah.
And in the process of dying, knocks over that column, which lands on Mr. Burns, which causes his brain to go flying out.
We get a lot of violence in this one. I mean, you know, that era of Rome was a violent place to exist. But yeah, that brain popping out and that lion sniffing it and just scarfing it down. Yeah.
But yeah, when they reveal that Bartigula is the new emperor, it's somebody in the crowd goes, well, he was born rich, so he must be good at business.
Yeah. Oh, good call.
I was like,
Yeah, that was Cletus.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
I was like, aha, Simpsons. I see what you're doing.
And eventually, Bartigula just loses his mind and declares himself God. Obesius at this point's had enough, and he challenges his son to, just like how the episode started, battle in the gladiator ring.
Yeah.
And Obesius puts on the comically small armor. He's not in very good shape, not meant for this.
Waddling out there,
But he got to be still a showman because he fucking razzes Bartigula and moons him. And fucking Bart's response, in full of rage, "You dare show me your moon flaps?" I'm never going to say butt cheek again. It's only going to be moon flaps.
Only moon flap from here on out.
You dare show me your moon flaps? So now he jumps down to fight Bart. They little back and forth. Eventually stabs fucking Obesius in the neck. And I mean, it bleeds hard too. Like, it gets real rough here. And I don't remember, how does he get the upper hand over Bart?
He's strangling him.
Oh, yeah, yep.
Yeah, he's like doing the classic Homer, yeah. The why you, I think he even says, "Why you littlest."
Yeah. So he's bleeding out while Bart's choking out. And yeah, they kind of die almost simultaneously. Yeah. Marjora runs down. She is distraught, as you can imagine, and commits suicide. And we get the good gig of Lisa coming out, and it's like, what are you talking about? Like, your family's not all dead. I'm still here. And like her last words, "We never really clicked."
Yeah.
with her daughter.
And then dies.
Yeah. So it cuts back to the present. Homer's like, "See, that's why you can't do this." And Marge's like, "Wait a sec. I just want you to not have a shitty job."
Yeah, they're like debating the lesson to take from it.
And the lesson that the curator gives, he just like laments the fact that stupid people are allowed in museums.
Yeah. I just wish they would stop letting stupid people go to the museum.
That's basically it, but we do get a credits thing where the Roman gods watch the argument, which they've been viewing for years now. Minerva complains about the argument as decline in quality, but Jupiter states that he wants to watch it to the end because he's already invested so much time in it. And it feels like they're wrapping it up.
Ever since season 2016.
Yeah. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. Didn't dislike it nearly as much as I thought when I was like, oh, fuck.
And I assumed we were doing a three stories
I was
one,
so worried.
You know?
No, I don't want this.
Because that's what we always do when we do these. But no, this was fine.
Fine.
I like this
perfectly
one.
Fine. Clearly not as good as the Burns one, but how could it be?
Of course, yeah, of course. But all in all, I think this is a good batch.
Yeah, I mean,
that Bodhi, the fucking the second half of the church one, I think is good, but is bad because it's part of the first one. You know what I mean?
See, you're way higher on that one than me. I think we both agreed that the dog one was an absolute dud.
Not a fan of the dog one. I like the Lisa and the shitty girls
horse girls one was good. Burns was great, and this one was plenty good.
Yeah.
So yep, 60%.
All in all, it's positive.
Yeah.
And I can't believe it's fucking season 32.
Look at that. Almost there. And they're in season 34 now. Yeah.
Yes.
Season 33 is on wax.
Yeah. Yes.
You can gather. You can go get it.
And if anything, if the last couple seasons are any indicator, 34 will wrap up this spring and come to Disney Plus this fall when season 35 starts.
Oh, interesting. Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, you can get the new Simpsons now, or you can watch last year on Disney streaming.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So we're almost there, man.
This is it.
We're almost caught up.
The final episodes of The Simpsons are in our stubby hands, reaching, our fingers reaching, exploring.
This is the most, I hate using the word epic because people misuse it, but this is the most epic we got to catch up that has ever been undertaken.
Oh my God. Yeah. People will talk about this for decades.
Like, oh, you're 2 seasons behind on Euphoria. You better catch up.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Watch fucking 34 episodes.
34 episodes. Like, Jesus Christ. Yeah. Literally nothing compares to it in modern television.
Yep, literally nothing.
The only thing that would come close actually this does, time-wise, would be starting, you mentioned it earlier, Law & Order SVU.
Yeah.
Because that's like 29 seasons or 23 of hour-long episodes.
You want to start a new podcast where we watch Law and Order SVU?
I would suicide bomb the fucking podcast hosting sites so that couldn't be done.
That brown-haired lady's attractive, but I can't tell why.
What's her name? Marshuga? She from?
I have always loved the John Mulaney bit about Ice-T's character on that, where it's like, you work for a special sex criminals unit, but yet you don't
shocked.
know any of this.
Yeah, you're just blown away by every crime.
You mean someone could be addicted to sex the way someone is addicted to gambling? So funny.
That woman, Mariska Hargitay, am I getting that right? Close enough?
Couldn't tell you.
I remember seeing her pop up in an episode of Freddy's Nightmares, this ridiculous syndicated Freddy Krueger fucking watered down half-hour horror show.
Really?
Right?
A Freddy Krueger TV show?
Yeah, there was a run of. It's funny when horror movies were almost at their lowest point for relevance, like 89, 90, when like all we were getting was Halloween 7, the fucking the search for relevance, like just everything is fucking no new ideas. You had that show a little bit earlier than that. You had Tales from the Dark Side. You had Tales from the Crypt debuting on HBO.
Okay.
You had this show called Monsters that was like this half hour every week's a different thing. And there's one more of them I'm forgetting, but like why those all became a thing when no one gave a fuck about horror. But one of them was Freddy's Nightmares.
Was it like a compilation show, like an anthology thing? Was he in the Elvira seat?
He was basically, he'd come out of the shadows and say a couple funny quips and tell, this is what happens when you do, and then he'd like fade out, and all of a sudden you're at a grocery store and someone's fucking shopping for mayonnaise. And that's where it begins. That's a weird fucking part of like horror, like media, was that run. There wasn't quite a Twilight Zone. The Twilight Zone reboot was like 85 to 86 or something like that. But then I remember as a little kid. So that makes me think that Tales from the Dark Side debuted earlier. When we still had cable, so that was like 86, 87. If I heard that intro music in the living room, I would go to bed because it was so scary.
You're a spooked boy.
Like it.
Oh no!
But also, if I was like 17, get out from under the kitchen table.
No, Freddy!
It's not even the Freddy show. They got the claw hands.
I'm scared of Freddy.
Show me your hands.
Help!
How Freddy's in here?
I don't like puberty.
Freddy! Stop it, please. Stop it, Freddy.
I got the man glove.
He's so mean. That's why I'm going to dreams. Dreams are nice.
He's so mean. It's an insane thing for someone to shout about Freddy Krueger.
He's always so choppy. I don't like the choppy.
Oh my God.
Just destroying my parents' house, thrashing around in a night terror. Just punching holes through all the sheetrock. He's too rambunctious. No, Freddy. Hockey man, no.
Hockey man, no.
It's Freddy, no hockey man. Oh no, Big Bland. Oh. You're scary, I guess. Oh. Just hollering all this. My parents trying to sleep. Boom, boom. He tipped the fridge over. Fuck is he up to? He's sleepwalking. Just swinging pots and pans, breaking all the glass out of the house. Oh, I got Freddy. Lie down and go fast asleep. Just peacefully sleeping in the kitchen. Like cartoon snoring. Like, curled up like a cat. This fucking house is in shambles. Just small fire. Well, I finally got Freddy. Yeah, till tonight.
Oh, shit.
Me German suplexing a coffee table through the picture window in the living room. Get out of here, Freddy.
You ever known someone who has night terrors?
God, I feel like I do.
I don't, but god damn it, that has to be the fucking most wackadoo shit.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I might have when I was a little kid, but I never as an adult.
oh, hey, new roommate from Craigslist. Just FYI, most nights I wake up in a blood-curdling scream.
You fucking fast as all of a sudden 2 arms burst through the wall, through the sheetrock. You're like reaching for you, screaming some insanity, and then eventually fall back asleep. The arms are just hanging
Arms
limp.
are dangling. What an insane thing to have. Why are brains like this?
Oh shit.
Whew. We'll do more of this next week.
Go see your Freddy Krueger, or don't go see Freddy Krueger. Try to avoid him.
Hockey man, no.
Right when they think it's subsiding, Hockey Man joins the fray. Big plane, big bland. No face. Angry doll. He's little but mean. I'm running the weed eater through the house trying to kill little doll boy.
Just shredding the
He's got a knife.
ruining the couch.
So mean.
Oh shit. All the horror movies I've watched, I've never heard anyone say he's so mean.
They are very mean.
They are mean. Pinhead is nothing if not real mean.
Very mean man.
Oh my god. Oh, I'm dying. Whew.
Terror.
5 more episodes next week. What do you say, buddy?
3 through 7. Am I doing my math there?
3 to 7. Yes.
There we go.
Look at you go.
I'm smart. I
with
do
your math. Your math boy.
Season 32. We're in it. Magic Johnson, 32.
Yep. We made it to the Magic
We
Johnson
did.
season.
Finally.
Yeah. 3 to 7 for next week. I don't know. What are you doing with the rest of your day?
Laundry.
Yeah, boy.
Gotta do that. Just realized that I ain't got no clean drawers when I go home.
Oh no!
The last of them went in the backpacks.
Are you in a place where you can wear today's drawers tomorrow, or are today's drawers 5 days in?
Nah, today's drawers are day 2.
Oh,
These ain't comfy drawers.
You can't.
They're not uncomfy. They're worked in all right. They don't feel wet for no reason.
They don't got that film on them.
Yeah, they got that crust.
Somebody spray a bunch of starch on these?
Kind of. Got thinking about Hockey Man. I got the terror squirts. Holy shit! Being on a red eye flight and having the giant man next to you have a night terror about Hockey Man. I bet that knife's so sharp. Hockey Man. You're trying to climb the seat in front of you, but you're buckled in and you're asleep, just slapping the person in front of you. Everyone get to high ground. The ground snakes are back. There's some tremors. Fuck, he's trying to climb that mini fridge.
Tremors ain't even scary. What's this kid's
The
problem?
mini fridge ain't gonna hold him.
Slamming against the window. We gotta get him fucking wrapped up.
Me sitting on my haunches on top of the snack cart. Be quiet. We finally got him back to sleep. He's so worried about tremors. Tremors!
God snake!
Shoo!
Air Marshal nervously with his hand on his pistol. Those still a thing? Do we got an Air Marshal on every plane?
God, do you think that might have gotten cut over the years? Maybe.
Or was it ever real?
Yeah,
Was it
maybe
just a
planted that
deterrent
seed.
rumor?
Yeah, some psyop.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
That's what it is.
That's what I'm saying. When I went to Alabama and back a couple weeks ago, I finally broke my record. Nope, I lied. I forgot.
Pissed
about
in the toilet. Not just in the sink.
I was about to say I finally was able to have, but no, I forgot that on the way back I also had it happen. Still to this day, the streak is alive. I have never once gotten through security without being molested.
Really? No shit.
100% of the time.
I've only flown a handful of times since 9/11. I've never once got the touch up.
I go through the thing. I put my hands up. It does the whoosh to x-ray your balls or whatever it does. Give you
pull you
cancer.
aside. Yeah.
And like immediately, yep. Sir, you want to join me over here for a minute? And I'm like, yeah.
Incredible.
Yep. I already got my hands up and I'm like, I get that it's part of procedure, but he's like, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the back of my hand and run up and I'm like, yeah, man, I got it.
Yeah.
Like, would you rather do this in a private area? Absolutely not.
No, that makes it weirder.
Yeah, 100%.
Like lights are dimmed.
Dude, every plane I've ever been on, you do this to me. So how about we just get it done, huh?
They must like your shape.
Fucking
into it.
apparently, I'm exactly TSA agents types.
They're blowing kisses at you.
They see me coming in the little zigzag rope line, and they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna fucking touch the bottom of his nutsack with my knuckles."
You see them playing paper, rock, scissors. Who gets to do it?
Every time, literally every time.
No shit.
Yep, I have never gotten on a plane that is a non-connecting flight and gotten on without getting.
I bet
my
it'll
bits
be
touched.
like when women complain about men always ogling them, but when they hit an age and it stops, they feel bummed out.
Then I'll be
Yeah,
I'll
it's
be
like-
insulted,
You're wearing tighter shorts.
tighter and higher.
Yeah. Licking a lolly. Rouge on your cheeks. Rosy. Did I just get to go right through? Don't you want to check me? No, sir, we're good. The x-ray came clear. So
Start carrying a gun to the airport
yeah.
in my
no,
waistband.
yeah.
Oh no, what's this? Putting a leg up. Ball bag falling out of the bottom of my tennis shorts. Oh no.
It happened again. My shoes are untied. They are slip-on.
They are slip-on. Always wear slip-ons to the airport. What are you doing? Tying your fucking shoes in line.
Calf high lace boots. It'll be here a while. Because one shithead tried to put a fucking bomb in a shoe.
Yeah.
That's where we're at.
One shithead tried to put a bomb in my shoe, and now my balls get touched every time. So
We did it. Someone did it.
3 to 7 next week, season 32. We're here. We're caught up almost.
Come join us.
Join us.
Victory lap.
Watch your Simpsons episodes, goddammit, and try to enjoy yourself.
Yeah. Have a good one, everyone.